Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutilus on the forum.
This is Parker. Go by Dr. Mantis Toboggan, MD on forums.
This is Jeremy. All your Dormammus belong to us. Hashtag.
Hashtag //
You need a plan. That's the
Enter.
thing. You need a plan.
Okay. All right, so getting right into it today because we're gonna really churn through this efficiently because that's what we do. We're right on it.
I'm on it.
Shut up! We're going efficient today.
No
interruptions. Stop it. So today we have announcements. First off, Parker has 970 more probationary episodes left on his account.
Feeling good.
Listen to the pre-ramble after the episode, and me and Parker have made a wager of 50 episodes. Basically, Parker is betting 50 of his probationary episodes that he has yet to serve, that the human race is altruistic and inherently good, and I am betting it's not. He owes Jeremy 11 pizza rolls. He's not allowed to say the words pineapple blade antiquing or an unknown word that we've marked with an asterisk. And I have one more piece of announcements to make. For anyone who likes watching battle reports on YouTube, I've actually finally gotten back around to uploading battle reports. I've uploaded, I believe, 3 in the last 4 days. So I'm trying to get through my backlog. I have like 30 or 40 more I have yet to post, and then we'll start recording some new ones. So I'm going to really try hard now that I've kind of moved my schedule around a bit to get those out on a more regular basis, because I know some people like them, so trying to make more content. We'll see how it goes. With that, Parker.
News.
News.
All right. So first in news, we have a clue. I think it's what you'd call it, like from Legends of the Hidden Temple kind of thing. Like it's not actually it's not actually an affiliation update, but it's a clue for an affiliation update. Ooh. Because
you have like the idea of news more than actual news?
Yeah, it's more like a guideline of the actual rules.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the SHIELD team had a picture taken of them. It's a portrait of the SHIELD team clustered around Nick Fury. And so we think we know most of, if not all, the members of the SHIELD affiliation. In the past, their pictures they've taken like this have been the entire affiliation, so we can assume it is, but you know what happens with assumptions. So these are the characters that we're confident will at least be in SHIELD. First, of course, Nick Fury, their leader, She-Hulk, Winter Soldier, Iron Man, War Machine, Hawkeye, Black Widow. It's Agent Widow, by the way, not the little Black Widow, and Taskmaster. So a whole bunch of 3s, 1 6 and 1 4. That's
Did you forget Black Cat?
Black Cat is not.
What the fuck?
Confirmed.
Okay, that's
confirmed. Black Cat is not flipping anywhere in this picture.
Absolutely no reason she should be in fucking Avengers.
And
you mean SHIELD.
Black Cat.
SHIELD, sorry. Yeah. Wait, she's not in Avengers, right?
No, she's not in Avengers.
All right, I just double checked. I'm just confirmed.
No, she's not. So,
I'm checking something real quick.
What about Colossus? Colossus is definitely in there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so my thought process here is because there's some few obvious leave outs, right? There's Hulkbuster being the second Iron Man option. There's the original Black Cat. Or not Black Cat, Black Widow.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, exactly. So those were the two big ones for me, because so I'm looking through the game on the website, and I'm looking at all the other affiliations where only one of 2 characters that share the same alter ego are not included in the same affiliation. I've only found 2. It's Midnight Suns with Doctor Strange, the original, and not Sorcerer Supreme, and the other one is Defenders with original Spider-Man and not Amazing Spider-Man. Oh, I take that back. Amazing Spider-Man is in the Defenders. So the only time I've found this to be true, where there's 2 people that share an alter ego and they're not in the same affiliation, is in Midnight Suns. So I think that both Black Widows are going to be in there, but I'm not sure about Hulkbuster. What do you think, Parker?
Or
do you think neither of them will be in?
Okay, from entirely a like comic book perspective, I think they both They both should be in there because like Tony Stark is absolutely he was a director of Shield at one point for a while actually, and he's 100% like partner with Shield while using Hulkbuster armor in the comics. Like I feel like there's, I mean, he was also affiliated with, if not exactly working for Shield when they used it in the movies. So I feel like I'll be actually kind of surprised if they don't do it. I don't know why they wouldn't do it either, because they do all kind of weird stuff that doesn't seem to make any sense, like putting Cable in Avengers. Like why put that guy in Avengers? Just because I guess. So I don't see why they don't do this.
Gambit
Shield.
makes it into Brotherhood and Hulkbuster doesn't make it into Shield. That makes no sense.
Yeah. With the Doctor Strange one in Midnight Suns, I don't know if it makes sense that he's not like doubled up in everything, but it's fine. I mean,
you could say that the Sorcerer Supreme version of Doctor Strange shows him as at his capacity of being the Sorcerer Supreme, which the Midnight Suns are not directly adjacent to. It's more that's him when he's with the Convocation and the Defenders, who are like directly related to the Order and everything that he's part of. And Midnight Suns just kind of his ragtag group of like rogues and stuff.
Right.
But
yeah, I would be from a story standpoint. Now, here's the thing. I'm a big believer in this picture that they took. I will be not shocked at all if this is the affiliation, full stop. Because
but they didn't show. I think regular Black Widow is going to be in there. That would blow me away if she's not. I think that they just didn't want to take pictures of multiple of the same alter ego in one shot because that breaks chronology. Is that how you say that?
I could see that also because, like I said, with the point values in here are really weird. It's one is 6 3s, a 6, and a 4. Like the fact there's no 2 in the faction, I feel like it's very likely that there is.
Because I actually relate regular Black Widow to the Black Widow that works with S.H.I.E.L.D. more than the Black Widow who is Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because Black Widow, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., I see her as basically her like penultimate version of her where she's at her highest skill level. And in the MCU, that's basically her after S.H.I.E.L.D. like has already fallen. So I think that this is also huge writing on the wall, which I know I've talked to Parker about specifically, but I think this means we're going to get a new Inhumans pack that's Yo-Yo and Quake, and that we'll also see an expansion for Inhumans that goes with S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. Because anybody who's watched the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, that's 2 Inhumans that are also S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. So that will expand 2 smaller factions really well.
I will be...
But that's...
Go ahead.
No, I'd say that's obviously speculation. It has nothing to do with fact. So
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a Coulson soon.
Yeah,
maybe
Coulson.
Yeah, Agent Coulson. I feel like Agent Coulson's a really obvious ad. But Jeremy, I'm curious because you had mild interest in Nick Fury, right? Like the idea of he was playing around with objectives and points. Were you the one who had mild interest in him? I can't remember. I thought
no, not really. I think it's a thing, but I don't really care.
Okay.
I'm not a S.H.I.E.L.D. guy. I don't usually dig Avengers or S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't care about them. I like bad guys.
I am excited about what this can do. I am more excited to play Daredevil once I saw his card, but from aesthetic standpoint, from like what I like about the game, I think I will. I'm really excited to put Nick Fury down. The problem is I am super uninspired by this list. Like these related characters. I am super uninspired by it. I
was surprised that She-Hulk was on the list, honestly. I was really surprised.
I love Winter Soldier and I love Agent Widow. Like none of these characters are bad exactly. I feel like this might be kind of like...
I think it's a lot like A-Force, where they don't really have an obvious identity out of the box.
Right.
But once we see all the Tactics cards, maybe one will start to, evolve.
Right. I hope... Also, the big miss that I don't see here is Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is in, like, every version of S.H.I.E.L.D. and S.W.O.R.D. and Alpha Flight, and, like, she's always a member of some paramilitary supergroup. So... it blows me away that Captain Marvel's not in this list, and I really, also double blows me away. She's only in one other affiliation. Like she actually only has one affiliation.
Two.
Who's her? Oh, that's right. She's an A-Force. That's right. Never mind.
Can't forget the Lady Avengers.
Yeah, I will say this though. the one thing about this list, as it is right now, it'll be really, really easy. I don't know why you would do it, but it'll be really, really easy to play Sam Avengers and Shield. Just put Nick Fury in the list, and you probably already have it.
Yeah, it seems that they play a lot of similar characters.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else you want to directly bring up with the Shield roster thing? I
Nope.
want to bring up an adjacent point before we move on.
The what point?
And an adjacent point, since we're
Sure.
talking about Shield team roster and stuff, so Nick Fury's involved.
Mhm.
People have been asking me if they think that Thanos is going to get errated like Sam got errated to interact with grunts differently. I don't think he's going to. I think that people are just going to have to choose to not summon grunts against Thanos. Because Thanos' leadership giving an extra victory point every time you kill one is really weird. Because that's obviously a huge access to control points, or victory points, that you didn't previously have. But at the same time, I thought it was a fun interaction, because if you remember Nick Fury's leadership generating victory points, you can kind of get into this victory point race-off with the grunts spawning and giving Thanos more points, which can potentially lead to Nick Fury generating more points. And so you can get into this really aggressive scoring situation, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it makes any sense to change Thanos because of that. You get to
Yeah.
choose if you're going to play a guy who's
Exactly.
going to make victory points free. I mean, like, hand those to me, boy.
Because remind me if I'm recalling incorrectly, but Nick Fury is, if you have less points than your opponent, score a point, and if you have more victory points than your opponent, you guys get aggressive, right?
Yes. Equal to or more than.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not less. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that was just something I wanted to bring up. I do not think that Thanos is going to get ratted. If he was going to, it would have happened at the same time as Sam.
Yeah, I think Thanos is going to stay like he is. Also because, like, in this game, there should be not exactly rock paper scissors, but you should feel like a little bit that's there. Like you should feel like some affiliations are going to have benefits against certain kinds of play.
Yeah, I think that's true, but also I don't think it's a direct counter, like I was saying, because you're going to be scoring extra points because he's scoring extra points. So I think it's just a level of counterplay where as long as you're in control of the situation, I think it's fine. So I think it'll be okay either way. But yeah, I highly doubt he'll get errated.
Right.
If it was that bad of a matchup, you're just gonna have to choose not summon your grunts.
Right. Now, speaking of changing from Nick Fury grunts over to the ninjas, the ninjas are not going to allow you to keep up on that objective game. So there may not be a good thing to summon. And guess who summons them? Elektra.
Yeah.
We also Elektra.
Yeah. We have Elektra and Daredevil. So we have Elektra's card. Let's dive in. Elektra is a 6 health on the front side, 5 health in the back. Otherwise, she's identical in stats. She moves medium. She's a size 2. She costs 4 points. She has 3s across every defensive stat. Her first attack is a Mystic range 3 5 dice called Ancient Throwing Blades. It has Pierce on a Wild, Bleed on a Wild, and after this attack is resolved, if there is not an allied Hand Ninja's character in play, place it in play within one of the attacked character. It has an activated token. This is just like Daredevil's. It is part of your squad. You may have noticed that in no point did I mention that it gains her any power.
Yep.
Then
cool.
Yep, cool. And then her her other attack is called Impale. It is a physical attack, range 1, 8 dice for 5 power. If a Hand Ninja character is within 2 of the target character, add 2 dice to the attack roll. So if any Hand Ninja is around, she gains 10 dice. It's a 10 dice attack. The defending character does not add crit results in his defense rolls to total successes and cannot add additional dice to his defense roll as a result of crit results. So this is the same as Scarlet Witch's Spender and Vision Spender. After the attack is resolved, this character may advance medium. For those of you who've never seen Impale, it's her like trademark thing in the comic books. She takes both sides, sneaks up behind somebody, and sticks them all the way through them. It's happened many, many times. Like people love drawing the art of it, and it is kind of it looks freaking awesome whenever it happens. So I love that they gave her that attack. I love exactly what it reads. It reads, she walks up and she stabs you really hard. Think like
It's the ultimate like rogue sneak attack.
exactly what I was gonna say. Think like level 12 rogue and D&D. Just bam, one.
Yeah. I put 2 large metal sticks through your heart, then you do stuff, which is mostly bleed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'd like to point out this attack does not cause bleed.
It does not cause bleed. Nope. The other one does. So do we want to keep going with the kit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So for 2 costs, she has a power called Assassin Step. When this character damages an enemy character with an attack, after an attack is resolved, she may use this superpower. Place this character within range 1 of the damaged character. This superpower can only be used once per turn. So if she hits somebody with ancient throwing blades and she has 2 power, she can then place within 1. She also has martial prowess for 2. When this character is targeted by an attack within 2, it uses superpower. It's the same martial prowess. I could read the whole thing, but it's the same as
martial
all the others.
prowess. Yeah. No, just move past
Roll
it.
5 dice, deal 2 damage if you don't take any damage.
Yeah,
passive.
I said move past it. Don't then read it.
Passive is Out for Blood. When this character deals damage to an enemy character with an attack or superpower, after the attack or superpower is resolved, this character gains 1 power. So that's how she gains power off of her attacks. Anytime she does damage with her ancient throwing blades, impale, or martial prowess, she will gain 1 power.
Okay,
and then she also has stealth.
Yeah, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read this article, or did you just read the cards?
I read the cards. There's an article.
Okay, there's an article around the cards.
Okay, what's
did anyone read the article? Are we 100% sure this isn't a misprint and that she actually gains power from attacking?
Why was there something that
this character seems terrible?
Okay.
Oh, I was looking for like how much this character costs. I was thinking, did I misread that? Is she 2?
Yeah, that's got to be a 3, right?
Like a 3 or a 2? Like what the fuck is this?
This character is terrible.
Oh, awful. Just awful.
Like terrible. Okay, so her basic attack is solid, right?
Uh-huh.
But generating power is a big part of a basic attack.
Yep.
It only gets you 1 if you damage, which admittedly she's going to damage a lot. It's Mystic, it's range 3, it's a reasonable amount of dice, and it has Pierce on Wilds. Cool. Yeah, but like, where's your power? Like, what are you supposed to do?
What?
Like, she's never going to have power. She can't pick up objectives. Like, what are you going to do? Like, oh my god.
She'll have power because her defensive stats are ass.
That's true. She'll die a lot.
Yeah.
But because, like we just talked about, her defensive stats are so bad, you're going to have to martial prowess to keep her on the board. She's never going to have power. I don't understand. Like, this seems so bad. Maybe we're just misjudging it, but this seems awful.
All the characters in the game that have, like, a builder, and that's what they have to do. So not a builder. What do we call it? Gainer, right? All the gainers in the game, almost all of them, are rapid fires. And if they're not gainer,
a lot of them are.
Yeah. And if they're and some of those gainers who aren't rapid fire also have just action gain 2 power or something like that.
Or a lot of the gainers that don't have rapid fire and it's their only way to gain power are range 4.
Right.
Like a lot of them, like I can't think of another character that's tied to a range 3 attack that doesn't have a builder.
Yeah. I also expect her to be like move long or something like that, some sort of cool utility to go get things or go get people, but she's still move medium.
Yeah, she's not even fast.
She's 5 health on the backside, so she falls down really fast on the backside.
I expected some kind of ninja vanish type mechanic where if she was targeted by an attack, she could place within like range of the hand ninjas and then like they become the target or something. Or like the hand ninjas would have bodyguard for Elektra specifically, maybe. I don't know. This just seems like a huge letdown. Impale is nice, and obviously everyone's going to compare it to, what's it called? Cruel Twist on Scarlet Witch like you did. But the problem is, this costs more because her power generation is so much worse than Scarlet Witch's.
Right.
Like, the fact that you can only possibly generate 3 power a turn without taking damage, what the hell are we talking about? Mm-hmm. Like, how is this important? And that's only if you're attacking twice every turn. So at turn 1, as a speed medium character, at most you're going to have 2 power. And that's if you don't interact with an objective. Turn 2, even if you get to double attack and all 3 of your attacks have dealt damage, that gets you to 5. And if you don't martial prowess, you're going to fucking die. She's 3s with 6 health and then 5 on the back. Like, are you kidding? 11 health with 3s?
And even with martial prowess, you're still going to die.
Yeah.
It's still just dice.
How is this a 4-point character? If she was 3, I'd still be like, meh. Like,
I feel like this character is as soon as I read her, I was like, oh no, they reprinted Gamora. Like that's the first thing I thought.
Gamora is better than this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, she doesn't have a movement ability. She has to attack to actually place, and she does not speed long. I went, oh no, they didn't reprint Gamora. They made a worse Gamora, like
I'm
much
actually gonna
worse.
pull them up. I'm gonna pull them up side by side.
Oh no, it's much worse.
Yeah, Gamora has 1 more health and speed long, same point cost. Godslayer is only range 2.
But it's 6 dice.
So there's that, but it's a builder and it's 6 dice. So that's probably slightly better in total, maybe about a push. Cosmic Assassin is way better than Impale in my opinion. Obviously, Impale has high potential because your opponent is very unlikely to get a good defense roll, and she's probably going to get 10 dice when she uses it.
Mm-hmm.
But Gamora has a range 3 instead of range 1, which, by the way, range 1 is not fucking irrelevant because you're never in range 1 of people. You always have to move, which means she's using Assassin Step to get within range to use Impale, so you actually need 7 power.
Right.
Or need to spend an action, which is precious on this character. And then, by the way, the 6 dice Cosmic Assassin has automatic Rapid Strike, so she's getting to attack twice. And then she has Pierce potentially as well. Like, I think, and the Assassin Leap and Martial Prowess instead of Assassin Step and Martial Prowess. She also, Gamora gets to change one of its hits to a wild every time it attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Both have stealth. Gamora is better and Gamora is bad.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like aggressively annoyed with
I'm
this
surprised
model.
that she doesn't have something along the lines of like use the hand ninjas as bodyguards or something.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. I was expecting something like, or when the hand ninja doesn't attack, she gets a power. Like, that makes sense.
Some sort of shit, but goddamn, like, she's fucking absolutely terrible.
She's bad. Like, so I asked one of you guys, is Elektra like a big deal? And one of you said, yeah, she's lighting up the forums or something. And I was like,
no,
okay.
I did. I said she's lighting up the forums, but it's because she's shit.
But I didn't realize you meant she was like hot dog shit.
Yeah,
no, that's why she's shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I assume the backlash is real. Of course, no one cares. Like, no one likes Elektra, right?
I don't know.
Listen,
she's been a main character for a long time.
Jennifer Gardner was excellent.
I like Jennifer Garner
in both movies. Well,
she wore a red bikini real well and stabbed people.
She did. She did an excellent job.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, this is I cannot imagine a world in which I would pay 4 points for this model. Like, is there any interest that you guys have to put this model on the table?
No.
I would rather play Viper in a game.
God damn, don't go that low.
Am I wrong? If I told you pick one of these to include in a roster, which one are you adding? The 3-point model that places itself or Elektra for 4?
Oh, man. Yeah. No, I can't. I already don't
because
want to
if
put a 4 in
because
my list.
If you're ever wanting hand ninjas, you're playing Shadowland Daredevil first for 4 points. Which means you've already got a 4-point Shadowland member in your roster. Why are you playing Elektra? She has to have a tactics card that reses her, right? Like, she just has to. There's gotta be a tactics card that reses her. And even then, I don't think she's good.
It reses her full power and she gets an extra attack.
Well, if she's taking 11 damage, she should be at full power, so.
You think that, but she'll somehow not.
I mean, she literally has to have taken 11 damage. She might have spent all of her power on martial prowess, but... Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I feel like they had something else on the kit, and then she got nerfed and released. Like, this couldn't have been the design space for her.
Yeah, it seems super duper bad.
Yeah. If she had, like, permanent range 2 stealth, I still think she's not good.
Yeah, because she's going to go in, and she's going to die on turn 3.
But at least then you're only fighting one person. But, like, this character is so easy to kill. She has no anti-collision tech. She has no anti-physical attack tech, really. Like, martial prowess is okay. It's more of an annoyance than anything. 2 extra defense dice is like a third of a defense die. Like, it's nothing. Like, the statistics on it are bad. And you can't even use it if they're outside range 2. That just seems so bad.
Yeah.
So, ideally, let's see here. So, turn 1, you power up, you advance medium, you hit somebody with the throwing blades. Then you gain a power for damage them. You spend 2 to place on the objective. that's the ideal scenario for her. And then you die. I don't know what you do next turn because you have 1 power again. You stab them twice, you have 3 power. You get attacked, you can martial powers twice. Okay. Like, it just seems so bad.
Yeah.
I would rather have so many 3-pointers than this model. Anyway, yeah, I don't care. This is dumb. She's got to have a Taxus card that just makes her crazy.
I'm with you. I think that it's going to be a resurrection one.
Yeah. It makes sense too, like thematically, because she comes back to life so many times in the comics. But like, what would it have to be? Like, cost 0, remove an activated token, like, because if it costs a bunch of power, not only does it have counterplay because you could not have the power to use it, and she has a 5 cost spending attack, so you could screw yourself by spending for your big attack and then just die. So it's got to be like reasonably cheap. And it's got to be, unlike Deal with the Devil, it has to not kill anybody else because you would never trade any model for Elektra. And it's got to be like also remove the activated token kind of thing. Like, it's basically got to be Deal with the Devil without the negative effect of Deal with the Devil. Then I still don't know if she sees play.
I really, really hope this is like Kraven, and I really hope it's like Kraven, and it says if Daredevil is on the board and he has
Jesus
died,
Christ,
and he has already died, then you may play this card and replace Elektra with the old Daredevil or some bullshit like that.
No, that's it though.
Weird,
you just nailed it in the wrong way. It's going to be kill the grunt to bring Elektra back in their place.
Yeah.
So you just kill the grunt first and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's going to be it. And it's going to be terrible. Oh man, I cannot wait. I hate Elektra, so it's fine.
It'll be a box set that has like a really good scenario in it as well, so you'll have to get it.
Yes, you have to buy it. Well, I think Daredevil is reasonably good. I think Parker's got something going there.
No, I think
I'm actually
Daredevil's
kind of
good.
Hmm.
interested to see. I think the Hand Ninjas is interesting too. It's a cool model. I think Elektra's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right. Do we have anything else to talk about on this topic?
Couldn't happen to a nicer lady after she showed up in that Daredevil show and ruined season 2. I'm happy with this.
Ruined season 2.
Oh no.
I'm fine.
Did she also ruin Defenders? She was in Defenders. Right?
Oh yeah, she definitely ruined Defenders.
Definitely ruined Defenders.
Danny
Rand didn't even get a chance to ruin Defenders. Elektra ruined it first.
Oh, he tried real hard. I think
he was too busy ruining his own goddamn.
He made a yeoman's effort to ruin Defenders also, but I think Elektra has really put the nail in the coffin.
I love that the Danny Rand character from the Netflix shows, his best performance wasn't even on his own show. It was on one of the other people's shows.
It's really funny. Elektra has now been shitty in 2 movies and a television show. So is this why she's so bad in Marvel Crisis Protocol?
It has to be.
They're trying to make her live up to the movie,
right,
which is terrible.
Well, they were sitting there in a meeting going, but does she really represent the Elektra we all know? Well, she would if she couldn't make power.
Is she useless and annoying? Yes.
If she cost way more than anybody's willing to spend. Well, I guess she needs to be 4 points then. Like, I feel like they really found a way to capture her essence.
Yeah.
That's my final word on it.
All right. So moving on, let's go into currently playing. Jeremy, what have you been playing lately? Same old?
Was it the same? Yes.
Well, didn't you switch to Avengers instead of Web Warriors with your Dormammu?
Yeah, I mean, it's Dormammu, so whatever. Like, it's the same but different. I switched it up. I put some rapid fire people in there, but I think everything just goes to one thing, and that thing is I need to just tier list their Dormammu list and fucking quit jacking with anything else, because I just want to play Dormammu. I really don't care about any of the other garbage. And
the thing I found was there's like the core 4 models that is your best list, and then every other model in the list is just different point total similar character to try and make the points work at every option.
Yep, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. And every game I play, I figure something out new, and I enjoy it even more. It's certainly not easy, and it reminds me a lot of Black Order in that every move you make is important, and you can fuck up like really easy, and you can't come back.
It's like playing Black Order, but your shit can die.
Yes. Yep, all of it can die, and there's been like...
But somehow doesn't die, even though
Well,
it can die.
Kind of, sort of. Like, if you're not paying, if you don't have your eyes on the prize the whole time, like, all of a sudden you'll realize, oh shit, I don't have 6 power to resurrect this guy. Like, you need the power in the right place at the right time, and to try and provoke your models to die when you want them to.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, and I like it a lot. Yeah, we played.
So, did you play any interesting games at the tournament we just had?
Anything interesting? Let's see.
You played against a real shithead the first round. I remember that.
It wasn't interesting. So yeah,
Wasn't interesting.
I played what we'd call the infamous power loop, which is I was sure to play both of you assholes.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And I played a newer player. So our game went as I imagined it would, Brandon. It was tight, and we tried to beat each other, and a couple mistakes cost.
We both made a pretty big mistake. Your mistake just happened after mine and was a little worse. We both made the exact same mistake though. We both got into this weird logic loop where we looked at the game state and said everything's fine, I can do whatever I want, and then did something that changed the game state and fucked everything up. That's what we both did.
Yep.
I messed up field dressing, and you messed up Magneto not being able to throw stuff.
Yep. And that's one thing that's really cool about this game, though, is like it's in the mistakes, and that's fine. Like I remember that from War Machine a lot too, where it was kind of like you stumble over yourself and then you lose the game. It's not always in your opponent's hands. But yeah, that game went as I thought, and then I played a newer guy, and he kind of caught fire on his first turn and tried to blow me off the table. Like every model had so much goddamn damage on it. I looked down and I'm like, oh my god, is this happening? And it was Cabal, so at the end of the day, it just didn't have the gas to get him through. I ended up winning that game, and then me and Parker played, and I was 1-1, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play some silly shit to see what happens, because we looked at the objectives.
I remember your guys' last game you guys fucking played in the tournament when
we were trying
just fucking cruise missiling at each other, pulling out all the stops on turn 1.
Well, the last game we played, the one before this, we both intended on winning. This game we just played, I wanted to see what I could do. Like, it was the equivalent of, you're playing 20 points, I'm going to play 5. Fuck you, I'm still going to do it. Like
Jeremy was so interested about what he could do, he wouldn't stop to think if he should.
Yeah. But I played like a low model count, and there was objectives everywhere. The funniest part of our game, Parker, was the objectives were splashed about the table everywhere. There was bodies and objectives everywhere. Nobody was picking them up. There was only murder.
Well, it was spider people, and I only had like 4 characters, so there's and you were constantly knocking them out. Yeah, I couldn't pick them up. It was I was playing 5 characters, and one of them was Honey Badger, so she couldn't even pick them up. It was
cool. So Parker, why don't you run us through your tournament games and what you played?
So I played X People. I played it was X Force and X Men with Storm. I enjoyed playing the X Men. It was fun. I found out that Colossus is a really good Brotherhood model, and he's maybe okay with Storm, but he was just a potato. He was. I
tried to tell you.
Yeah, he was the only part that felt disappointing. Storm could hit like a truck. That was pretty cool. I did not know Storm could hit like a truck, but she does. She feels like what I want Black Bolt to be, which is
she's swingy.
Yeah, just like I was like, oh, you gave her some power, or I got some power. Here we go. She go bam, bam, just like really big, high dice rolls on little stuff. It was fun.
She does. It's just that Black Bolt's 5 points, so he draws a lot of attention. And Storm can be. Storm has stealth and can be ignored because she's only 3 points.
Precisely. Yeah. It felt much better because she actually got to do the thing Black Bolt wants to. Also, I played Wolverines, like the actual card Wolverines, every game, and I played the Wolverine package of Wolverine, X-23, and Honey Badger, and I played them every game just to see how it went. I think it was very strong. I liked it a lot. X-23 was the star of the package, actually, because Honey Badger, it says, can't be, difficult to ignore. What's their actual wording of her
Too
card?
dangerous to
Yeah,
ignore.
so too dangerous to ignore what the card says. And it means, you could spend power to make them attack you. But as it turns out, you don't have to. Because as soon as your opponent finds out their defense drops by
Ankle
1,
biter. Yeah.
as soon as they read that, they went, nope. And they just
Yeah.
focus her as hard as they can. So it's really strange. I don't know if what's funny is that I only actually had to spend 2 power to make that happen twice. And it was in my game against Jeremy where he did a beam attack across Honey Badger to try to hit X-23 and Wolverine, and Honey Badger actually spent 4 power to take all the beams. And basically what I found out is Honey Badger, in all my games, she lasted 2 turns and it was dead, but because X-23 and Wolverine were left there in front of the most dangerous stuff in their army, X-23 just ate them. Wolverine cleaned up some too, but X-23 is a monster.
Yeah, I don't think it's intended to work in the same way that like Luke Cage and Black Dwarf are intended to work, where you're forcing people to attack them when they don't want to. It's mostly just there as a disruption mechanic, because if you look at her kit, everything she does is disruption. And so the fact that you could put her in a position where someone like Magneto has to spend a big attack on her, that's really annoying.
Right.
And so it's more about just being annoying than actually like protecting the team.
I will say that it is really fun to, do minus, because if you're playing Cable, then you're likely going to get the oh my gosh, I'm just blanking on the condition that gives you -1 defense. That's Incinerate. Yeah. If you can, since you have Incinerate on a wild and Honey Badger's got -1 defense as well, just dropping somebody 2 defensive dice feels great. But honestly, Laura, as soon as you pop the Wolverine's turn and she gets to claw and do her spender and pay 2 to attack again, my best turn I had with her all day was 1 activation. She dazed Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, KO'd Magic, and then also KO'd Dr. Voodoo all in 1 activation. It felt really good. And I mean, all of them were not like in ship shape, but the fact that she could do all that in 1 activation was super clutch. And she just has so many rerolls on attack, and she gets 1 on defense. And then if you're rolling X-Force, you get more rerolls. If you do Wolverine, you get more rerolls. And like I said, if I just played her and Wolverine, I think you just focus her down because she doesn't actually live through a lot. She's got a bit of a glass jaw. But since you feel like you have to kill Honey Badger, and when you attack Honey Badger, she gets closer. It happened more than 1 game, actually, where Wolverine started a little bit farther back. Like she had to go pick up an extract to be part of the game and on objectives. Or I purposely just kind of put her back in cover, knowing that my opponent would oblige me and attack Honey Badger. Now X-23 is in the middle of you. She felt super duper good. I think if you can deliver Honey Badger, Storm can do it with her spender on turn 1 if you have no matter the cost, or you have the ability to give her 1 power and she can do the same thing but not do 2 attacks, or you just play something like Honey Badger, something that your opponent feels like they have to attack first. She felt very, very strong.
Yeah, and this is exactly like you were saying, this kind of situation, having 2 dangers to ignore on Honey Badger actually matters, because being able to take direct attacks off of the right characters at the right time, or just to trigger the advance off of Big Sis, both of those are really interesting situations, even if you're not having to use 2 dangers to ignore. So yeah, I like I said before, I think X-23 is going to quickly become the most attrition efficient 3-pointer in the game. And I think Honey Badger is going to go a long way towards helping that.
Yeah. I will say this. I also went 2-1. But sorry, I went 2-1. Nobody else here went 2-1. I went 2-1, but my first game was lost.
The fucking slander, Jeremy. Yeah. Jesus.
Because I realized this because I beat Jeremy in the last round. Oh, by the way,
I also realized that,
and the game turned on a really good X-23 turn. That's how it went all day long.
Yeah.
But the my first game I actually lost to time I clocked out, even though it was a really close game, and I think it would have been anybody's on the final turn. But I clocked out because I was just reading Storm and Magic so much. I know that it cost me I had never played Storm or Magic before, and I was really in my head with all the placing shenanigans they can both do. So I know that I cost myself the time there. I could have had 15, 20 more minutes if I would have just played X-Force. I think I could have been in that game too. But I decided to learn about things while I was playing on a tournament, which is never what you want to do, FYI. If you were excited to win.
Have you considered sending X-23 in first? So that way when they attack her, you trigger Little Sis and Gabrielle moves in and then gets 2/2 dangers to ignore. Basically preventing them from attacking X-23 twice so that you get to trigger Healing Factor.
I actually think that's... I looked at a lot of that different kind of scenarios. I also I do think that's really good. I also think it's really good if you have like the Wolverine like first turn thing with Storm. He's bouncing, and so he does his no matter the cost. He jumps in with Berserker Barrage and then does a basic. Because if you can start turn 2 with Wolverines on, because X-23 is on her backside or she took some damage, and Honey Badger's there too, man, you're just eating whatever they're on top of, it's dead. Like you just feel so good about that turn.
I feel like people are going to kind of learn that and kind of stay away from it, kind of like MODOK for a while.
Mm-hmm.
There was a long time where MODOK just got to activate and delete 2 people, and that kind of stopped happening after people learned.
Yeah. I will say this, though, that there's more to learn from those 3, and I want to keep playing it, mostly because I want to find a way to get Wolverine to do more, because I feel like X-23 is doing almost all the work for 3 points, and Wolverine is just kind of there for 4 points. I will say that he is...
I don't think you want all... I think that's a bit of a trap. You don't want all 3 of them in one spot, because then like all of your damage is in one place. And I think if you're going to take Wolverine, I think the Wolverines card is kind of overkill, and you're going to need to stop playing it, because you got to spread out.
Yeah.
If you're putting... Even though it's only 9 points, like 9 points to a flank isn't terrible, but, you know, it's not really ideal either.
Man, Wolverines feels really good, though. It feels
I mean, if you're getting to play on, like, demons or something, then yeah, sure. But...
Yeah. And that's what it is. I got to play a lot of F scenario. Isn't that F? No, it's not F. Echo, yeah.
F is the 5.
I got to play 3 Echoes today on that tournament, and so...
Yeah, I did too. I played demons all 3 rounds, played 19 points all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I played Ghost Rider all 3 rounds. Basically, my tournament consisted of that wave of releases, basically. I played everything from that wave. I played Luke Cage like every fucking game. I played against Ghost Rider every game. I played that mission every game. Everything I played was like that week.
Oh, I also played against Ghost Rider a bunch. One of the things, and I don't think we have time for this podcast today, but I think Ghost Rider Tech is something that I am going to start planning on putting in my list. That's what I learned after this tournament is I don't know if I need to design my whole list to beat Ghost Rider, but I think Ghost Rider Tech is going to be something that's going to net wins over time. If you want to look like...
I think that is correct.
Like if you're like, I want to win more games, I want my win percentage to be 60, 70%. That's what I'm looking for. I think then right now you should feel really confident putting in Ghost Rider Tech, things that Ghost Rider doesn't like. Speaking of that,
do you want me to tell you what I'm playing?
Okay. Speaking of that, there is a faction that has a lot of Ghost Rider Tech. Go ahead and talk about it, Brandon.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So anyway, I played my modified Brotherhood list. I did start taking non-Brotherhood models. I'm weak. I don't know what to tell you. Basically, I found that the other 3 models were completely irrelevant because I would never play them. I think Colossus is probably a waste, but there are probably some matchup he's okay in. He's basically the next model on my chopping block. The models I'm super happy with are obvious beyond the originals were Juggernaut and Rogue. Gambit was pretty fun. I played Gambit in several games. In one game. Gambit was pretty fun. Getting able to spend a whole bunch of power to do like one really big like beam attack is fun. I did his 52 card pickup with the empowerment and spending to change stuff to wilds. That was super cool. He's really spiky, obviously, for a 3-pointer. But other than that, like, he wasn't overly impressive. The real rock star of my list is Hood. Hood is fucking crazy in Brotherhood. Getting extra power, just everything. Being able to heal characters like Colossus and Juggernaut and Magneto for 3 is just insane. And commonly, those really expensive models are activating first, so them getting bleed isn't even that big of a deal. He's also getting cover on a model that could potentially have DR2 is fucking stupid as well. It's like you're never going to get damage on that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He might as well just have to take 5 separate attacks to kill him. He can also have Invisibility Cloak where he gets to count blanks with cover and roll 3 dice. That's very good. I played Jeremy round 1. I was pretty confident I had thrown the game when I had Juggernaut within 2 of Magneto when he was dazed. He hadn't activated yet. So I was going to play field dressing, and I looked at the board state. I checked every model that my opponent had, every tactics card my opponent had. He had no way to move Juggernaut. Juggernaut was going to be wherever Juggernaut ended his activation. And he couldn't move Magneto because he was dazed, and I had 5 power on Juggernaut, so I said, man, he can't stop me. I can do whatever I want. Why better spend 4 power and do I am the Juggernaut and attack this guy? And it was just like the biggest brain fart I had all day. I was so mad at myself. I got kind of tilted. And then Jeremy did the exact same thing later. He looked around, he's like, oh, well, Magneto can't throw anything. There's nothing within 3. And then Magneto attacked him, and he triggered the Dark Dimension ability on Dormammu to push me away. Fear the Darkness, I think it's called. And pushed me into range 3 of a size 4 piece of terrain. And then he threw that at Dormammu, and he died. So we both brain farted pretty hard in that game and tried to throw it back to each other. But the thing that mattered most in that game is Quicksilver was incinerated and hexed, holding the only extract, I want to say, the alien power
alien
core.
ship. Yep.
Alien ship power core got Shadow. No, he got the Dark Miasma from Dormammu. So you rolled like 8 or 9 dice versus my 2 defense dice, and I lived with 1. And then he ran away with it was the scroll token. That was it.
Yeah, it was
ran away
short.
with the scroll token for the rest of the game because he didn't take damage because it wasn't the power core. Literally ran to the corner of my deployment zone, touching both table edges. And we get down to the final turn of the game. I end up getting priority, and Ghost Rider's basically going to try and drive across the board and kill him to win the game because we're basically tied on points at this stage. And then I activate Juggernaut. Juggernaut hits him, pushes him short, and then plays Do You Know Who I Am? Throws him long, gets him out of drive plus move plus range 3, and wins the game for me. That tactics card is fucking insane. It's so good. So good. There's definitely justified in the number of times it was played on the TTS League. The second round, I played against John. John had an A-Force list. We've theorized that A-Force is bad into Brotherhood because they both want to play super bricky, but I think Brotherhood wins the brick battle. It felt very much that way, but a lot of things just kind of went my way in that game. Juggernaut's very hard for A-Force to deal with because he just kind of does what he wants, and the only person that can keep him in check is She-Hulk. But She-Hulk can't really kill him because he's got surprisingly good damage reduction. Because combination of 4 physical defense, damage reduction, and cover, she can't really kill him in one turn. And he's running all over the table is where She-Hulk has to actually spend movement to go get him. And so she has to like chase him down to actually try and kill him. So you get a bunch of action economy where she doesn't. But that game, basically, Juggernaut tanked his entire army for like several turns. Basically, finally got injured. Hood kept healing Juggernaut, which was super fun. Final game was against Midnight Suns. I got pretty lucky in this game, but I think all it did was sped up my victory. Turn 1, Ghost Rider moves on to the central point on Gamma Wave. Juggernaut advances, pushes himself into Ghost Rider, and then hits him for 9. I rolled 9 hits on 8 dice and just one-shotted him on the first turn. He died and then went to injured. Next turn, Juggernaut activates first, hits him for another 5 damage, ends his turn. Then next activation, Mystique activates, and during Mystique's activation, Juggernaut plays Do You Know Who I Am? And throws a size 4 into Ghost Rider. He dies, is not allowed to play Deal with the Devil because it's a reaction card during Mystique's activation. And she was also standing there in case he rolled 4 dodges. Then the game just keeps spiraling out of control from that point because Ghost Rider never got to attack. But yeah, that was my tournament. It was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun playing Juggernaut. I played him in every game. I am playing Mystique a lot more often now. I think there's actually enough situations to justify her getting played. She's okay. It's mostly just her shapeshifter ability is fucking crazy. I don't think I really have any other abilities that cancel Ghost Rider in my list. I just have a lot of characters that are good against Ghost Rider because I have a lot of characters that can spend power in response to being attacked and spend all of their power during their activation. Like Magneto's a good example. If he's getting penance stared, he's probably already spent a bunch of his power, and he's a high Mystic defense, and he's usually going to have cover at the point Ghost Rider's going on him. And so he's 6 Mystic defense plus cover against probably 5 or 6 attack dice. And if he loses a couple power, it's whatever. He can also spend 2 power in response to being targeted, so the odds of him having a huge stack are pretty low. Juggernaut's very good versus Ghost Rider because Ghost Rider can't really get through his damage reduction very easily. Penance Stare, same problem. He's 5 Mystic plus damage reduction, probably going to have cover, and he spends a lot of his power during his turn. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. I'm very much liking my Brotherhood list. It's very good. The key ad, though, has been Hood so far. Hood's been very, very good. Thoughts?
I think Hood is. Are you playing Hood's Gang? Did you find a way to put it in?
I am. Oh, I guess I should talk about that. I'm playing 7 character requirement cards. It's Hood's Gang, Deception, Magnetic Refraction. Can I borrow that? Do you know who I am? Running through characters in my list.
Are you doing Gambit's cards?
Oh, Dark Past. Yeah, Dark Past for Gambit. I'm drawing a blank on the last one. My generics are Field Dressing, Medpack, and then my I'm running Asteroid M. Drawing a blank on my last card. I can't remember who else I'm playing. I think it's a small base model. Oh well, I can't think of it right now.
I was just curious, do you ever see... I had Gambit in my list as well, but I couldn't ever see me picking them over like Magic or Domino. There were 2 other 3-pointers that I was much more excited to play.
That's it. Journey Through Limbo is the other card.
There you go, Journey. So, knowing that Dark Past is there, you have it as an option. Is there ever a moment where you go, I need Dark Past, let's do Gambit? Or is Gambit always just secondary to characters like Hood
The only
and
time
Magic?
I played it was against criminals, and so Dark Past didn't seem very relevant. Sorry, the only time I played Gambit was against criminals, so it didn't seem very relevant.
Now, why pick Gambit against criminals? Was the scenario you liked?
Oh yeah, that's what we're going to talk about in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm basically done talking about my stuff unless you guys have direct questions.
So Brotherhood good. Brotherhood is one
I
of
like
those
them.
Brotherhood does have a lot of game against. It's funny. Brotherhood on the surface looks like it's the real thick cinder block, right? That just wham, wham, wham. But at the same time, they do have a lot of this like mechanical kitschy stuff, like a shapeshifter on.
Yeah,
on-
they have a
on
lot of really
Mystique.
weird utility stuff that other
Right.
people don't have.
But it's super punishing when it happens because it's unique also. A lot of their stuff that's the mechanical like that, it's unique. Juggernaut's stuff is unique to a certain degree. Mystique stuff is unique. Quicksilver, can I borrow that, is kind of unique. It's close. There's a lot of things that faction does.
It's more than a little unique. That's actually what won Brandon the game handily.
Oh, can I borrow that?
Yes,
Yeah, no.
that-
Well, I mean, I could just play Black Cat instead. I mean, but yeah.
That's what I meant. It's just that it's kind of unique, but it is
Yeah.
still good.
I mean, Quicksilver, in my opinion, is much more fair than Black Cat is, but they're both pretty silly.
Yeah,
The
and
fact that there's no interaction at all for Black Cat, and it's not even a tactics card, it's just an ability, is pretty silly.
well, especially in Brotherhood, because you can power her up, so you can do it first turn. So the thing that I saw and keep hearing is number one, X-23 is ridiculous.
She's very
Not-
strong if you fight her.
Yeah, her attack for a 3-point model is ludicrous. Like ludicrous. It's way off the scales. It's not even like, if you do the math on it, there's very few 4-pointers that hit as hard as she does.
Hmm.
Most of the time, you have to look at a 5-pointer to even get close. So, heads up, folks. The other one is Do You Know Who I Am? That fucking Juggernaut card is sick. Like,
so yeah, that card is crazy. The thing that you don't think about at first, you just consider it for its damage potential. And throwing a size 4 thing as a tactics card seems about like where a tactics card should be. The big left turn here is that it throws long, and it throws up to any size 4 target, including other characters. So you can throw an enemy character long, but you can do it in a way where you're like throwing them more into the rest of your army. So let's say your opponent activates a character, first turn activates a character, walks them up on the middle point and finds the power core, right? Cool. I activate Juggernaut, he advances short twice, and then plays this tactics cards and throws you long into my deployment zone next to Magneto, who has not gone yet. And it's like, it's better than Deception, because there's no counterplay for it. You can't stop it unless you're size 5, which is there is one size 5. You can't stop the throw because it's part of a tactics card, it's not an attack. So unless you have Indomitable, it doesn't stop it. So Indomitable is now a required card because Do You Know Who I Am is so powerful. And you can just see if they have Indomitable or not, and it costs power, right? Indomitable, I want to say, is 2 or 3.
I don't know.
Or is it just... I'll check real quick. Indomitable, I don't think it's free. Yeah, it's 2 power. So in this situation, they wouldn't be able to stop it anyway, because they've advanced, and it's the first turn, and they've checked a point, so they have 0 power, let alone 2. So even an Asgardian wouldn't have enough power to do it. So yeah, you just walk up, throw them long, and then even if they don't take damage, they're just going to die to the rest of your army getting free attacks on them. And your army is going to be so far away they can't do anything about it because it's a throw long. And you can throw it through his own base, so that's not even a problem. It's very silly. That was the big thing I noticed. I'm also running Journey Through Limbo, which is a similar type effect, except a place range 3 that incinerates you. And so similar thing, once your opponent has activated one of their better models, you just activate her. If she's not within range, she needs a little bit of power. If she's already within range 2 of the person she wants to move, she can guarantee do it every turn because she powers up for 1 and then uses her gaining attack that's range 4 twice. She doesn't even have to shoot the person you're worried about. And then, so you don't have to worry about triggering like Slippery or anything, and then just pitches them range 3 through the portal anywhere you want, gains Incinerate, and then gets killed by the rest of your army. Same thing with Deception. So I'm running 3 tactics cards that have a very high potential of moving opponents' models very far. And 2 of them are omnidirectional, and 1 of them is Deception, which costs 0 power. It's very hard to stop me from just getting a hold of whatever I want.
Yeah, it's real good. It's very strong.
Yeah, on top of that, I'm running Asteroid M so I can get my models into really obscure places. And I'm running, what's the other card? Why am I drawing a blank here? And Quicksilver's, Can I Borrow That? So I can steal objectives from people from very far away. I can move opposing models extremely easily. I can move my own models fairly easily through both Journey Through Limbo and Asteroid M. Juggernaut's all over the table and can throw enemy stuff. And combining that all with the fact that during Mystique's turn you can't respond to things, so you can't even Indomitable if I throw you during Mystique's turn. It's like you have like the ultimate answer for like it feels like everything right now. And so I honestly think Brotherhood are going to become a very, very strong faction. I don't think it's just a flavor of the month thing, but they're obviously going to be popular because of flavor of the month.
It's funny you say flavor of the month, but they only got 1 character. Like a lot of...
They got 3.
Oh, that's right. They got 3. I'm sorry. I always think of Juggernaut as the Brotherhood character, but they got 3. No, they got 4. 3. They got 4. We're talking about 3. They have 4.
They added 3. Who's 4?
Juggernaut, Gambit, Rogue. Colossus.
Rogue. Oh, yeah. Rogue, Gambit, Colossus. Yeah. So they have 4 added in this release, which was huge. They really... Yeah, although Colossus and Gambit, whatever. Rogue matters, but Colossus and Gambit or whatever. The odds of that actually mattering in like a being affiliated situation is pretty small. The main thing is that Asteroid M becomes live with those characters. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into our next segment. Oh, there's one more thing I want to talk about. Sorry, I know I want to get off this topic, but there's one more thing I want to bring up. Jeremy told me I should do the add herbs to my list, the Wakandan herbs mission, because of the interaction between magic and Juggernaut. Juggernaut can get the herb token on the first turn and move after getting it, which is crazy. He
It's
can
ignorant.
cross the board, pick it up, and leave, and there's really nothing you can do about it. With either leader in Brotherhood, because Magneto can just break any piece of terrain to give him a power. Mystique, he gets to refund the power for picking up the extract, which means after he moves twice, he still has 3 power, so he can use his Nothing Stops Juggernaut to push himself. And even if there's terrain in the way, he just breaks the terrain. So he's like, whatever. You have priority. Your first activation is Juggernaut picks up the token and then moves short plus long base the other direction.
So stupid.
Yeah. And on turn 2, he's a quarter inch short of scoring it by himself. Without help. So if you have anyone that can move Juggernaut, including just climbing gear, he can score it by himself on turn 2. So I'm running Magic, who, with the right situation, can also place him on turn 1. So turn 1, you double move Colossus forward, he picks up the extract, pushes himself backwards, Magic walks forward, hits somebody, gains at least 1 power, usually probably 2. But also you can just use Magneto to feed her power if you want, so that's fine. If you want to do it that way, you can just get her 2 power from destroying terrain, because Juggernaut can easily destroy terrain and Magneto can easily destroy terrain on turn 1. So she'll have 3 power, she can move twice and launch him through the portal, and so you have basically 1 activation to deal with Juggernaut, and before he gets placed range 3, and you'll never see him again. And he's just going to go character vault the objective to the other side of the board and score 4 every turn. And you're scoring 4 on turns 2 through 6.
And he can't be stunned, and he hits 1 die harder, right?
He's immune to stun. He's effectively immune to stagger. He is immune to slow, which is mostly irrelevant except for Web Warriors. He does get 1 extra dice for physical attacks.
That's what I'm saying.
Because his basic strike is now 9 dice, with that triggers a push on a wild.
That's pretty good.
Yes, he's throwing 11 dice with his spender, which is like, ow! Like, you just want to leave him alone. It's pretty fun. Anyway, so I've played that once now. It was very interesting. I don't know if Magic is worth it, but it might be. I'd probably just try and I'll probably just end up putting climbing gear in and cutting the Journey Through Limbo, unless I find myself playing Journey Through Limbo in lists that aren't on Mystic Wakandan herbs. So let's move on. Sorry for the delay. I know we've been talking about Brotherhood for a long time. Main topic today, we want to talk about some of the secure missions, specifically one that just got released. We're going to do our normal, just like we did with Extracts a few weeks ago. We're going to go through all of the secure missions and talk about the merits of all of them and what should probably mean you're playing them for and what you should avoid them for at the same time. So yeah, the one I want to start with, though, because I played it once recently, and we mentioned it before it came out. Superpower Scoundrels from the Sinister Syndicate. This just got released in, what pack was it? I want to say it was Rogue and Gambit, pack 60, which is Rogue and Gambit. I was right. Okay. This is a 20-point secure mission. It's place 5 ambush tokens as on deployment F, as in Foxtrot. They are targets of priority. Players score 1 victory point for each ambush token they secure in the cleanup phase. And then its ability is characters contesting an ambush token have cover from attacks made by characters not contesting the same ambush token. So the first big point here, the really big point, is this is the first secure mission that uses map F, which means there's 5 secure points. So this is the second highest scoring secure mission behind Gamma Wave, but Gamma Wave is Echo, so it's very easy to defend. Foxtrot is the opposite. It's very spread out. There's a lot of tokens. A lot of them are fairly central to the board, but still, it's much easier to contest 1 back point for 3 than all 5 individuals. Specifically, we were talking about this being a problem with lists like Sam Avengers, with Criminals, and with Web Warriors. Those are the big ones. Next big problem, it's 20 points, and so Swarm lists get all the characters. I don't think it would be crazy to think you're going to see 7 characters running around with some lists on this. It's not complicated. It's a very simple, straightforward mission. What do you guys think about this mission?
I actually love it. I love that there's a bunch of objectives. I love that it's all spread out and makes you do things. I'm also horrified because Web Warriors
Yeah.
exist. Like they're Web Warriors. It's like a heyday. It's a shooting gallery.
Yeah.
It does exactly what they want to do in every way.
So just hypothetically, because I think you hit on a lot of points. When I first saw this, I was like, yeah, and then I thought about it. I was like, no. So just think about what happens when. Okay, so what's the point breakdown? If you had 20 points, can you get Parker? Can you do the math for me real quick? Can you make a
Go.
7-character affiliated criminals list at 20?
Yep.
Yes, you can. Did you already check?
Yeah, no, it's easy.
It's easy, cool. All right, so if your opponent has, and how many of those characters move long? Because you've got Black Cat, Black Widow. The person I played against.
Wait,
was
hold
playing,
on. You're playing Black. You want to play Black Widow?
Yeah, because she's a 2-point speed long.
Okay.
That now counts as 2 models.
All right.
You also have Bullseye, right?
Who also has martial artist, stealth, and cover.
You don't need cover, I don't think, right?
You get cover.
I know, but you don't need it.
Yeah, agreed. You don't need it, but you have it. Because you either have martial artist or cover. And so there's no way around any defense. Like, she's getting a bonus.
Okay, so if you let's see, you want to play 20 points?
Yeah. Let's just throw a list together real quick, if that's okay.
Sure. So you want them to all have speed long? I'm confused.
You'd like several speed longer so you can contest the other person's points on turn 1. So let's say 4 for Kingpin, 2 for Bullseye. We've got 3 for Black Cat.
I think Lizard can get there too. He's medium base, medium move.
He may be able to. So what else? What's the next obvious take in Criminals? So we've spent, 9 points? We've got 11 points to get 4 characters. So
Mysterio.
we've got 3 3s and a 2. So
Yeah,
I think Black Widow.
You can do Mysterio for the back points. Do you always want
Mysterio
to
and Kingpin.
fast?
Okay, Jeremy. The list is Kingpin, Bullseye, Black Cat, Black Widow so far.
Mm-hmm.
We get to add 3 3-pointers, and we've got 3 criminals right now. So we need to add 1 more criminal. Parker, who's our best choice for criminals? Probably Mysterio. You said
Mysterio. We could cover back points. So good. Hood. Hood would probably be pretty good.
Ooh, Hood. I'm gonna say Hood. 3 4 Hood. Okay, so that's 1 2 3 4 affiliated. So now we can take wherever we want. 2 3-pointers. Go. We want characters that can guaranteed get to secure points that are far away.
That would be, Ant-Man and Quicksilver.
What? Ant-Man and Quicksilver? I'm fine with this. These are just for hypotheticals anyway.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and 3 points for Quicksilver. Alright, so this is just a hypothetical list. 3, 6, 9, 11, 14, 16, 20. Perfect. The list is Kingpin, Bullseye, Black Cat, Hood, Black Widow, Ant-Man, Quicksilver. And we just threw this at the wall. This is very easily could be other models. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of speed long 3s. So anyway, so what do you do to not lose 4 points a turn? How as a normal list at 20 points, do you not give up 4 points a turn on this mission against criminals?
You play 8 characters.
Does that actually help you?
It'll help you with 1 point, and you only give up 3 a turn.
But if your opponent's playing 7 points, they let you have 1, and then they put 3 on the other ones. They can put 8 people on the 4th point and 2 on the other 3, effectively. They have effectively 14 models that they're contesting with. So they assuming that whatever, let's say you go first, you have to choose a point to contest. They move to contest their own with Mysterio and Kingpin. Now that you're running out of models, they have 5 models left to activate. Every time you move to a point, they move a character there. You just lose all your points.
Yeah.
So they're scoring probably 6 or 7 points on turn 1. Turn 2, they're probably
okay. So you're saying they're sending multiple characters to the back, to the one of the far points and the center point, and then Kingpin and Mysterio take the 2 ones closest to their deployment zone.
Yeah,
So
because you've got Black Cat, Black Widow, Ant-Man, and Quicksilver, 4 models that can get to the back points super easily.
right.
And you could probably engineer a way to make it 5 people to the back point if you tried.
Somebody's got to go to the center point, but you don't need all those points. People going to the back.
Right,
points.
exactly. You're already overkilling it, so you assume that one of the points your opponent's just going to overload and take.
Mm-hmm.
But even if they tried to do that with a 5-model 20-point list, it doesn't actually work. Because they're going to put one person on all 3 points likely, or else they're just for free giving stuff up. And so basically, wherever you put a model, the criminal player puts a model there. And if you put all your models on 1 point, he still takes it. Because he's got 4 models that can get to any point. So you're...
The only thing...
Even if you had 7 models and put them all on 1 point, he can take it from you.
Right. Well, I think if you're going to his deployment zone, and it's 20 points, they're going to have a few activations to actually knock you around on that point. Like, they could knock...
It's 7 forward, so you're 5 plus 2. You're basically like range 4 from those people on those points, but they obviously go later in the turn. Because the whole point is that you're mirroring what your opponent's doing.
Right.
And so wherever they go, they've already activated models over there. And the last thing you do is go to their back points. And so you've already activated 3 or 4 characters at the point that you're going back there. And so they've activated at least 3 characters.
Yeah.
And you're following their activations. And so they don't really get... and if they're attacking you, then they're guaranteeing they're not standing on the point.
I was thinking a character... I was thinking of a combination that could save 1 point is like maybe Captain Steve with like Hulk and Brother Daniel. Because Brother Daniel just says one of you doesn't count. And Hulk...
He has to have power for it, but yes.
Well, yeah, but if one of those characters is a 2-pointer, he'll have power.
Correct,
for it, right?
Correct. Yeah, definitely. You need to be careful, but yes.
Right. So like Brother Daniel can take out 1 2-pointer, and Hulk is probably going to be able to take down somebody or throw somebody off. If he has to.
Also 3 of these people on the back points have stealth, so you're not going to be able to attack them without moving anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It has to be something like Brother Daniel Hulk. It can't be. Yeah, Shuri. Shuri doesn't have.
But yeah,
Shuri won't be able
if you're running Hulk, though, I just am not taking the back points until Hulk goes, because like I outnumber you by such a large margin that like I'll just not stand where Hulk's going to be.
Precisely.
You might get to go in on 1 person with Hulk, but that's it.
Yeah, Brother Daniel. Hulk costs 10 points. Like that's a lot.
Yeah. So at most you're probably running 5 models.
Right. Well, if you're running Steve to make it work, first turn. Yeah. So you're doing, if you're doing that, then Steve, that's 14 points. You probably have 2 more 3-pointers at that point, like Iron Man.
What's
Luke,
the Steve interaction?
Like
is it just for Hulk? It's not for Voodoo, right?
Voodoo also likes Steve because his throw gets cheaper and his return to self gets cheaper.
Okay. I was making sure you weren't counting the possession.
No, possession doesn't get cheaper.
Yeah, it's an X, so it doesn't discount.
Right.
But yeah, so even assuming your opponent's going to stop 1, which I actually think is unlikely given like practiced play at this, I think that you're going to score all 5 secures on turn 1. Now it gets dicier on like turn 3 as your guys start dying and they get injured and you lose your leadership bonus. But the fact is that you're probably going to score 5 on turn 1, and I would imagine you're going to score at least 3 on 2. From the secure only, that's 8 points. Assuming that your 7 models are going to pick up at least 2 points on secures, that puts you at 12 points on turn 2. You need 4 more to win the game. Like, what do you do at that point? Like, you're not even getting to 4. You're ending the game on turn 3, which is basically impossible to table people. You have to daze 5 or 6 of their models on 2 and kill them on the next turn, basically, to have a chance at tabling them. That it just seems unreasonably fast at scoring. And the combination of the cover, it's very hard to actually get attacks that don't have cover. Unless you're literally just doing melee attacks, is my experience with this one. Yeah. This is obviously like not an absolute nightmare with like hardcore scenario lists. Like I actually think this would be a really fun mission. If we were playing like X-Force versus like Brotherhood, that would be fine.
Right.
But I don't think this mission was designed for like how aggressively people are trying to win on scenario. If you pull this against somebody who's not ready for it, this is over. This is the most egregious mission I've ever seen them print. This is worse than the legacy cures. This is worse than evacuation. This is worse than Gamma. Like, this is the most abusable mission I've ever seen.
Just out of curiosity,
I think Sword is really fucking bad too, though.
But Sword is a dice game, though.
Yeah, Sword is
it
like
still
a
comes
toss-up.
down to random numbers. Like, either player can get advantage to the point where your actual leverage goes away. There's no randomness on this. This is 100%. We're playing chess. I'm moving models around and not attacking you.
So you guys were talking about spider people earlier. Are spider people just doing it a turn later than criminals? Is that the idea? Because they have to actually take a turn to like get there and set up their movement shenanigans.
Spider people need power, but
Right.
I think they could be almost as bad. Because I think spiders are one of the only people that can actually stop criminals on this mission. Because they're so good with their like impact webbing and web lining, they could guarantee get those people off. Every person that has web lined and impact webbing guarantees removing one of the criminal people from the point, which is the only way you can stop them from scoring it. Because you're getting basically double efficiency. Because every model you move off the point is 2 models off the point. And so I think that's actually big. Venom also is really good against specifically the models we chose, because a lot of them have defensive dice mods and stuff like that, so that's good, obviously. He also has a range 4 pull, which is amazing. He can stand on 1 point and pull people off of other points.
Right.
Yeah, so I think if I was trying to build a list to beat criminals and it wasn't intended to be a mirror, I would probably play Web Warriors. I think criminals have the best advantage here. I think Web Warriors are probably number 2 and Sam's probably 3rd, but all of them are like a league of their own on this mission.
I think it's interesting that when you're talking about criminals, one of the things about criminals is they generally, even though they play a bunch of potatoes, their best case scenario is they get a huge lead early because they're always losing slowly. Like they're always losing slowly. And so they want a really big lead. They want a blitzy kind of objective lead early. Because spider people kind of have their surge in the mid game where they can play all webbed up and have a really, really good objective turn. But the criminals want it early, and this scenario definitely gives them the opportunity to have a huge early game, and that's really hard to come back.
I haven't done the measurements, but Magic can also place herself range 1 on the first turn if she doesn't get any other power. She might be able to get to one of the further away points. I'm not sure, though. I'd have to measure it out. It's probably just short. But yeah, I think anyone who hasn't played this yet needs to at least get a couple practice games in against it, and I would highly recommend not putting this in your list unless you're planning on abusing it, because this is super aggressive. 1 more objective doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
Yeah,
it's also
this mission looks
an odd number.
Yeah, this mission looks good.
Think about all the secures that have 4 points, all the Bravo deployments, all the Delta deployments, and all the Charlies that don't have one in the middle. That's like half the secures, if not more. They're all an even number of tokens. So that means that you're fighting tooth and nail for the guy defending his own. As we're on this one, there's an odd number. And so someone's coming out ahead every round. As where in a lot of other secures, it's an even push. And so it's mostly just inflating the point score. In this one, someone is getting a lead every round. Anyway. Yeah, I think this is going to get immediately restricted and or banned.
It's a shame because it looks like a vanilla, like it looks like one of the more vanilla options, but it's just not.
Yeah, I would actually love to play this, but I would not love to play it against the scenario affiliations. Anyway, we're not really rating these, but I would say this is the most dangerous mission currently in available to play. I would be very cautious before putting this in. Yeah, be very, very careful. This is dangerous. Do you guys have anything to say other than what we've already said?
I will say this though, if you're playing like local folks and you're just you have every reason to believe that this is one of those kind of like when I've been playing Legacy Virus Cures for a long time and didn't even know I could lose to it, just because I went a long time without ever actually seeing anybody want to abuse it. So it was just a mission. So you could play this for a long time, but you don't want to be like, you don't want to take it to a tournament the first time you ever like get on the road and you're like, okay, I'm going to kind of stick my neck out there and do something different and play at a tournament. And then you put this down and your opponent goes, okay, I won automatically. And you go, oh crap. I let my opponent win automatically by bringing this card.
That's kind of what I'm trying to say, is because if you're just playing with like random people playing random stuff, it's probably fine. None of the missions are really crazy. Gamma's the worst if you're just doing random pickup games. But it's the fact that if somebody is trying to abuse it, it breaks very quickly. So that's really that's the only thing you need to be aware of. But putting it in your list just because it's easy just means that when you run into that person, it's extra bad because the odds of you pulling it are so much higher because they're clearly going to be running it and you're going to be running it. So it will allow them to choose like an extract their red missions while still having this available to them in your blues. Mm-hmm. So they might be trying to pull Deadly Legacy Virus and this mission. And if you hit both of them, anybody who's prepared to abuse missions is going to like outscore you instantly. And so you're not going to really be able to stay in the game.
I was going to say that one of the better ones would just be like one of the two, like senators or something like that. And just give it to somebody in the back and just like, how are you ever coming back if you only have 1 point? And
exactly. It's like a lot of the extracts, like you don't even have to play extracts. Mm-hmm. Like you can completely ignore the extract. They'll never catch you. And if they actually get it, because they have Black Cat, so it's easy, it's like, what happens when your opponent scores 7, you score 0? It's like, the game's over. Like, you're never going to come back from that. Anyway, moving on. Next one, we have Cosmic Invasion, Black Order Descends on Earth. This is a 16-point secure mission. Place 4 Cosmic Vaults into the battlefield, as indicated on map Delta. Players score 1 victory point for each Cosmic Vault they secure in the cleanup phase. During the power phase, some Cosmic Vaults will radiate cosmic energy, starting with the player with priority. Players roll a die for each character they have. They control within range 1 of a Cosmic Vault. If the result is a critical or wild, that character gains 2 power and is pushed away from the vault. The push is resolved by the the controlling player's opponent. So this is a pretty standard mission. It's one of the few deployment deltas. The cool thing about this is it generates a lot of extra power, but also disrupts the game. So it's kind of like the Spider People mission, a little bit. I don't know. It's fun and quirky, but due to the fact that it has dice involved, it can tend to be kind of unfair on the randomness side. One person will usually get more screwed than the other person.
Worth a note, it is a crit or a wild, so it's a lot of people see like, oh man, I don't want to get pushed around. Like, well, it's actually not. It's not. You shouldn't bank on it happening every turn to every character. That's not appropriate.
And also, just to clarify, getting this happening to you is not directly a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing, which is why it's extra random, because sometimes you want to get pushed, sometimes you don't want to get pushed. Sometimes you need the power, sometimes you don't need the power. Yeah. It's just very chaotic.
Also pushed away. So if you're, for example, you can kind of game it a little bit. You can stand on the side, if you can stand on the side of the point that if you do get pushed, it's going to be to your benefit. So it's not like you're always getting pushed in a place. Like, one of the things I don't like about Spider Infected is when I roll bad on Spider Infected, my opponent just has to move wherever.
It's always bad.
It's always bad. But this one, I can actually say, I only want this 90 degrees of I'm comfortable moving this way. So if you have the ability to do that, it doesn't always work out that you do, but when you do, it doesn't feel that punishing when it happens. I like this mission. I also like D deployment. I like that.
Yeah. Jeremy, thoughts?
This one plays fair. It's an even number. You don't go crazy with points. Basically, it's you get 2, I get 2, you get 3, I get 1. I'll hope to get 3 next turn. Like, it's a nice parody one. Just kind of run around. It's fine. It's not hammers.
Yeah, it's not hammers. Parker's right. You can plan ahead on this one pretty well. Like, placing your models in the right spots will mean that you're getting pushed in favorable positions a lot. Like, example, if you're playing a melee heavy army, you want to stand on the far side of the points from you. That way, when your models get pushed, they get pushed towards the enemy. So it's like a pseudo charge effect. Also generates more power for your guys. So if they do have charge mechanics like Wolverine does, boom, there you go. You're going into turn 2 with 4 power. All of a sudden, it's very easy to get his Best at What I Do off or Berserker Barrage. Any number of effects like that. Very cool. If you're a ranged army, you stand on the close side of the points for you. So that way, if you do get pushed, you get pushed away from the enemy and gain more power. So you're likely to be able to use your spending attacks that usually have a higher range and more damage. there's a lot of cool, clever play you can pull on this one. I agree with Jeremy. I like this mission a lot. I don't think it gets played enough. I think the 16 points has really pushed people away from it, but it's actually a pretty fun mission.
Worth noting, it's called Black Order, and Black Order really likes 16 points now. So if you want to play
That's
Black Order, it's funny. The Black Order card used to never get played because Black Order did not want 16 points before.
Yeah.
But now the Black Order really feels good at 16 points. Black Order plays the card Black Order now. So
That's true. Good call. All right, moving on to the next one. We have Deadly Meteors Mutate Civilians. This is a 17-point secure. I believe this is one of the starter box missions. Place 3 origin bombs, target of opportunity, as shown on deployment Charlie. The player controlling the most origin bombs in the cleanup phase scores 3 victory points. Interact with an origin bomb. Roll dice equal to the interacting character's energy defense. The roll contains more crits, wilds, and hits results than the number of healthy contesting enemy models. This character gains control of the origin bomb. So basically, until somebody else gains control, you have it. If the roll contains at least 1 skull, the interacting character suffers a damage. This is one that I recommend new players stick away from, because it is super swingy. This is basically the same as Sword Base, which we'll talk about later, but it's higher points, and you have to roll against contesting characters versus just rolling 1 die. Jeremy, what do you think about this mission?
Random die rolls. So,
Yeah.
Is that the one? Do you roll your energy, or what do you?
Energy defense,
Okay.
You need more than the contesting enemies.
So this is
Yeah.
Asgard's. Asgard's pretty good at this because they like to.
Yeah.
They'll spend 1 to do that, and they spend 1 to pick up an objective. So like they're actually
They
designed
also have a
for
high
it.
energy defense.
Yeah, they're kind of designed
A-Force.
for it.
A-Force
And
also
A-Force-
likes this one.
The problem is you can come with all your tools, everything is right, and you still don't roll
Yeah.
it. Like
Mhm.
it's so infuriating.
I had a game where Black Panther blinked out 3 turns in a row, and then I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was Bob walked up and double hit the one Black Panther was standing on and took it from Black Panther. I was so mad. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Defenders and Convocation are both pretty good at this one, too. 'cause
That's
they have
actually-
a lot of energy.
That's actually one of the things I wanted to say. Anytime you hear dice rolls, even though it sounds like you should be like focusing on a faction that has higher energy defense or something like that, I actually think the money's on multiple opportunities.
Quantity of rolls.
Yeah.
You want a lot of characters.
Because that's the one problem with A-Force. Yeah, A-Force is going to have awesome energy defense, but they're probably only going to get to roll like 2 or 3 times a turn on this.
it depends on your build.
Right, but it's not gonna feel fair when Captain Sam walks up and rolls on the points 5 times, and you're like, oh shit, he got to roll so many more times, and then like you said, you have the opportunity for Bob to just take it from you, and it feels really demoralizing when that happens.
Yeah, definitely the correct opinion here. You want to have more opportunities. You want to not have priority because going last is so big. Because it's not 1 point for each, it's 3 for most. And so making 1 die roll at the end of a turn can swing 3 victory points both ways. Kind of like my argument I was trying to say earlier when there was an odd number of points. 3 points is not a lot, but when they all go to one person, it's an all or nothing mission. That adds up real fast. Like if you just get unlucky 3 turns in a row, its score is 9-0. It's so hard to climb out of a 9-0 hole before the game's over, and so it's very rough. Also, you may want to be careful taking low health models like Bob, or well, not Bob, but I don't know, like who's low health? Rocket maybe, because interacting, if you roll skull, you take a damage, so that's obviously not great. So high health pool models are fine, but you do want as many attempts as you can get.
Curious, this is always kind of a double-edged sword, but if you're interested in it, criminals do count as 2 contesting models on their healthy side, so it actually makes your opponent have to roll more dice. It doesn't mean that your criminals are really good at picking them up, but it does mean your opponent has to work that much harder. On my very first game playing criminals ever, it was on this mission, and it cost them the game that they had to get one more.
Yeah, it makes
was a
it much
big deal.
harder.
Yeah.
Also, criminals with the playstyle we see a lot tend to play a lot of what we call these potato characters, which are people that just sit there and don't move. And they're very boring, but they don't die. And so you have to hit them so many times to get them off the points. And so while they're scoring 3 points a turn, you're just beating on these 7 health, 4 defense models with damage reduction, just bouncing off of them. A lot of them tend to have healing abilities. Anyway.
So I just wanted to give one last pro tip that people don't seem to ever do. And it's when you start and set up on this thing, people tend to go towards the middle or go wherever, and it doesn't matter.
Middle doesn't matter. It's outsides.
No,
yeah.
go to outsides because you can
Outsides.
check multiple. You just can't check the same one. So Zemo, as a long mover, in turn 2 or 3, he's got power. He just checks all 3 of the goddamn things. That's how you game this one. Check multiple.
Zemo can be a rock star on this one because you can you start on one side, the previous turn, let's say you hit a guy for some damage, turn 2, check a point, charge into the middle, do Steel Rush as your charge attack, maybe blow somebody up, move medium as a result of that attack, Steel Rush somebody else, move medium as a result of that attack, and you're checking 2 or 3 points across the entire table for a 3-point character. It's really crazy. Quicksilver can do similar stuff. Because Quicksilver can check 1, spend 2 power, move long, check 1, move long, check 1. And you're like, Jesus, what's happening? That only costs 5 power, too.
I just think people kind of forget about it or don't realize that you can check multiple. Just keep moving along.
This is not a casual mission. You need to have a plan going into this one. So this is one you may want to practice. All of the all or nothing missions are not casual missions. They're not just play around, do whatever you want. That someone's going to get a huge advantage on this mission. So next up, this is probably the last one we're going to do for tonight. We'll try and wrap up the rest of them next time. We had a lot of pre-ramble stuff today. We have Demons Downtown has our comeuppance come due. 19 points secure. Place 3 flaming portals, targets of opportunity, as indicated on map Echo. Players score 1 victory point for each flaming portal token they are securing during the cleanup phase. During the power phase, all characters within range 1 of a flaming portal gain the Incinerate special condition. This is my favorite mission in the whole game, probably at this point. It is basically flaming mosh pits, which is awesome.
Yep.
I want to file into the death cannons, light myself on fire, and launch myself at the opponent. That is exactly my playstyle. Also, 19 points is super popular. I will say the worst thing about this mission, by far, and I think you guys are going to agree with me, is everyone forgets to actually mark the Incinerate. So, you commonly on turn 3, you'll go, shit! All these people are supposed to be incinerated, and then you have to try and figure out what you're supposed to do then. But yeah, it's just fun to play. It's a grind fest. It's you get to kill stuff. It's fun. This is a great mission for a new player, but also it works well with a lot of scenario or with a lot of different affiliations.
It has the same effect as hammers. People are like, well, I want to hit things harder. I love rolling lots of dice. Well, how about your opponent has less dice to defend?
Yeah.
It's just more murder. It's murder in the middle of the table.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun.
It is. And it's really a mosh pit. It's it's whoever is in the middle is getting beat on. Sometimes you get it. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah, I will say a lot of times in this mission, I've just not put my people on the points. I've said, my goal is to table you, and I'll kind of sit back and wait. Generally on this mission, a lot of times you'll take very elite forces. Obviously playing Brotherhood, your leader's 6 points. You can do She-Hulk also. It's a very elite leader for 6 points that likes to fight in the middle of the table. So you bring a lot of these super elite models like Scarlet Witch, Magneto, and Juggernaut. And so that's a huge pile of points. 16 points. Throw in Quicksilver or somebody or Hood. And so you've got this super elite force. You're generally going to outnumber your opponent. And so if they have priority, you may maybe pass on your first turn. Wait and see what they're doing. If they start contesting the points, sometimes I just won't contest the points. And I'll just run at them. And then turn 2, they'll all be incinerated and I won't be. And then I'll have priority because I have less models than them. And then I'll just blow them up on turn 2. And daze 3 models in the first 2 turns. And then they won't have any counterplay at that point. And so I do a similar thing on the Kree Power Core we talked about the last few missions. Alien ship crashes. I just don't check the points. It's a strategy I've been doing for a while now, and it seems to work a lot. I'll just let my opponent take these sometimes, and a lot of the time I'll tend to contest them. But be very aware of which models you're incinerating. Don't incinerate your best models. Put like throwaway models on the points. Make your opponent contest them. Try to be smart about it. I will say a lot of people played this mission because they're trying to counteract the faster scoring affiliations. Having this only 3 points available it slows the game down a lot.
I'll also say that when this was printed, Incinerate was extremely universally damning effect. But now there are multiple models that are immune to it, and since they've made so many models that are immune to it, there are a few things you can plan on. Like if Ghost Rider is out there everywhere, and he should be, and he's immune to Incinerate. As is Dormammu, as is Captain Marvel. Like there's a bunch of them now. So if you're excited to do this and you want to stand on the point, you can do that actually now without taking Incinerate. One last thing about the Incinerate is Brandon's idea about your idea about making sure that you have the advantage whenever that important engagement happens on turn 2 is awesome when you have an elite offensive list. But -1 defense dice does not like a game make.
Yeah.
So if you're playing, for example, if you're playing Sam Avengers and you lose 1 defense dice and you have like 3 DR models and losing defense dice, meh. Like, are you going to be like really, really bemoaning that 1 defense dice for the rest of the game? Probably not. So if you know your models that can effectively take that 1 defense dice and not feel that intense loss. And then you'll be, for example, a really good model to get incinerated is like Bob. Like Bob.
Exactly.
Bob loses 1 defense dice. Oh man, that's half his defense dice. Wait a minute, he's
who cares?
Who cares? He's Bob. So
also Carnage. He only loses 1 physical defense.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of models out there. Any model with DR also it's less important.
They care less.
Yeah.
Some models like Blade can shake more readily than other models can. Like for example, you probably don't want to get Hulk incinerated or She-Hulk incinerated because they don't ever get dazed, and so they never actually clear the negative effects.
Right.
And their actions are so valuable that shaking isn't really an option. You could play like Guardians of the Galaxy and include Crew of the Milano if you're playing this mission. That way you can play it, cleanse all those abilities. You could play Children of the Atom with X-Men, intentionally incinerate your guy to gain power on the second turn, and play Children of the Atom top of 2. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do if you're thinking about it in advance. I think it's also important to remember because every action of the game causes a reaction. If your opponent moves up to contest the central point on demons, and you move up and contest it with another model, and you can bait them into moving even more models onto the middle point and contesting it to incinerate their own models, that can be huge. And so if you can kind of feel out your opponent, it seems like they're really going for points, you can kind of maybe hope they have blinders on, they're willing to incinerate like half their guys and put them in a nice little pile for you, and then maybe have like Ghost Rider on your side so you can like get an easy angle to spray 3 people that are all incinerated. That's pretty fun.
And the one nice thing about this one is it is forgiving when your opponent does get the center point. Like, yes. Because unlike Gamma Wave, which is the other E secure, we'll talk about another day, you get you're only scoring 1 point, their opponent's scoring 3. Well, in this one, you're scoring 1 point, your opponent's scoring 2. That's not insurmountable lead at all. So giving up, a lot of people, for a lot of objectives, you feel like you got to pile on to make sure you win and you don't take a huge loss. But this one is never going to give you an enormous loss. So, like Brandon said, putting one guy out there to make your opponent feel like they've got to really commit to it is maybe just forcing them to lose the game, putting their models in a really disadvantaged position with Incinerate.
Yeah.
If you're playing Dormammu, Dark Dimension, this is like stapled, I think, to your list.
It's literally if you're playing Ghost Rider or Dormammu, they're both stapled to your list. There's a reason that, like I said in our currently playing, that every game I played was on demons, and I don't think any of them were mine.
Yeah.
Like, my opponent always had demons, and they always choose 19 points. It's just like where our meta likes to play is aggressive missions at 19 points, and so it's perfect. We used to joke about on the battle reports that the Kansas City special was alien ship crashes downtown while there's demons downtown, because like 8 games in a row we played alien ship and demons, and it's the 2 downtown missions, which is fun.
Yeah, we're definitely downtown.
Yeah, we're downtown. Downtown
Lester Brown.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up our secure talk for this week. I think we might get through it next week. Let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh man, that's a lot. We might get through it next week.
We won't have any news next week because there's no models coming out. So
that's true. Yeah, definitely won't be any announcements before next week.
Nope.
This episode was recorded on February 24th.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be Parker. Do you have anything you wanna talk about?
Oh, for comics?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was for those of you who don't know, it was my birthday on the tournament day. February 19th was my birthday, and so I got a whole bunch of comic books, and the one I wanted to share, it's a brand new one. Well, brand new to me anyway. I think it was out for a little bit. It's part of the new Age of X, Dawn of X series, but it's specifically focused on the Krakoan Mutants space program. It's Sword is the name of the title, and it is fascinating. First off, it explores one of my favorite Marvel characters, Abigail Brand, who is she was the leader of Sword when it was not affiliated with the X-Men, when it was affiliated with S.H.I.E.L.D., leader of Alpha Flight. She is a mutant and also a alien hybrid. She is a really interesting, no-nonsense, tough as nails kind of character. But my favorite character in the Sword team, which consists of Cable, Frenzy, Fabian Cortez, WizKid, Magneto. My favorite character is actually Manifold. If for those of you not familiar with Avengers, you've probably heard of Manifold. He's a mutant, and it was originally thought that his powers were to basically teleport anywhere in the universe. And later, basically, he explored his powers with the Avengers, and now with mutants, of course, he's doing a lot better because he's getting mutant advice. And he's basically find out he doesn't so much open up holes in space and time as he just talks to space-time, and he asks it politely to do what he wants. And so his power set is kind of unlimited. He's not classified as an Omega mutant, but he probably should be because he has the ability to talk to space-time. So this if you like sci-fi stuff mixed in with your mutants, if you like that, then Sword, which is the mutant space program and all their dealings and how they manage mutant and extraterrestrial problems, is absolutely fascinating. And I love Manifold's obviously my favorite character. I think he's super cool. Like what he does in the comic is fascinating and amazing. But all the characters introduced, some of them are new to me, like WizKid, but the reimagining, like Frenzy and Fabian Cortez, reimagining them as part of this team is also amazing. So if you want to read a really well done title right now, I'm the only thing I'm most frustrated about is there's only one graphic novel out. This one's one of the latest ones they've produced, and so I just want more of them. I want more of them now. They're so good.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Hopefully everyone had a good time, and hopefully I didn't talk too much, because I think I talked a lot this week.
It was good stuff. I wanted to know.
Okay. Yeah, send all your queries about if I talk too much to parker.g@gmail.com/Parker. I'm
so sorry. I'm so sorry if there's actually a Parker.g out there. That's so sad.
Yeah, we can't get them to message us on Facebook, but they're definitely gonna go email people. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm just gonna give out your phone number just a second.
Oh Jesus.
Right. It's 819-374-2737. That's Parker's actual phone number. Sorry, Parker. All the Croatian gurney people are gonna fucking call you immediately.
Yeah, they're all gonna rack up some international minutes.
Yeah,
I like it.
exactly. But this has been Brandon or Mutilus on the forum.
It's Parker, Dr. Manus Toboggan, MD.
This is Jeremy.
Dormammu.
Fucking .yahoo AOL. Whatever CDs I have left.
Dormagoo Mamagon.
Dormagong. Oh my god.
Dormagonger Mormagoose.
Blackagoo.
Morgagon. Alright. And this has been The Gang Secures the Future.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.
All right, we did it. We all made it, and it's still working. You guys are recording, right?
Yep.
So
I learned something.
Test.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Jeremy, you go ahead.
Test.
Are you coming to Adepticon or what?
Am I?
Yeah.
You literally just mentioned that you're interested
Test.
today.
Yes.
I can hear you, Parker.
Yeah, I know you guys can hear me. For some reason, my my audio track, like it is, you know, where Audacity shows you that it is recording.
Mm-hmm.
It says it is recording, but
You're getting nothing.
no, it's just very, very small. Like the waves are teeny tiny.
So look directly above that. There should be the section where it's got like microphone and headset, and then above that line to the left, there's your microphone gauge and your speaker gauge. Where's your microphone gauge at?
Recording volume 0.90, nearly the
Okay,
top.
that's fine. I think we'll just go for it. Mine's also kind of small. I think it's probably fine.
I wish I could hear it and make sure. It
You
wasn't
sound totally fine on my end, and your volume's at the right
yeah,
spot.
I mean the reading,
So,
the mic.
what device is it using? Is it using the correct device?
Yeah.
Okay, then we should be fine.
It's also
It might just look small because you're being quiet.
It's also got like the mic pickup, the one that shows me like the green bar that dances back and forth.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Yeah,
picking
you're
up.
fine.
It's picking
You're
up
fine.
plenty.
It's just in your head because you're not talking a lot.
No, I mean, let me just share my screen. You can see how tiny this is. It just looks odd, but maybe this is the way it always looked, and I'm just
Say "ah" really loud, like you're at the dentist.
It's really obviously
You-
there. It's just small.
Yeah. No,
how
don't
I
worry
sh-
about it. You're fine.
Okay.
It's all in your head.
Okay.
It's all in your head. All right, Jeremy. You said something about Adepticon.
Yeah. My friend said he's going, and I said, well, good for you. I'm not wearing a mask. He said that they're getting ready to drop masks in that area, and it's going to be completely done. Then he followed up with, all the other countries of the world are fucking done. And I'm like, what does that mean? And he kind of went on to give me a laundry list of stuff in the world is like they're done and gave up on it, and it's like a hoax.
I'm noticing that from my storefront. Like people have like in the last 3 to 4 weeks, people have literally quit giving a fuck. After that last surge, nobody cares. Like everyone's so done. They just don't give a shit anymore. And like to the point where like our events are surging in size, our game nights have doubled or tripled over the last month. Like it feels like it's finally breaking. I went to Costco today. Costco was fucking packed. I think it's the busiest I've probably ever seen it on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's like COVID fatigue's a real thing, and
Yeah.
Sarah, my daughter's elementary school, they just rescinded mask mandate, and somebody texted my wife and said, are you nervous that the elementary school is rescinding it? And we were both responded with actually no, like the fact that we've had 2 years of them changing everything about their behavior to now just lots of kids will wear masks but it's not mandated, that seems fair. 2 whole years. I guess. At some point,
I'd be amazed
at some
if
point they're gonna get
anyone's
back.
wearing a mask in like a month.
Oh no, lots of my students are going to wear masks.
You think so? Okay.
I will they were.
What percentage do you expect? Like 75% are still going to be wearing masks? 50%?
Yeah, I'd say 75%. The day after, it's funny. The day after it happened, first hour there were like 2 or 3 kids that took theirs off, and by second hour I saw they had a mask on again because they were just in my building. They constantly like the kids like yell at them. The kids yell at the kids. They'll say, "She's like, I'm not getting COVID. Put a mask on." Like that's what, like when you sit down, it happens when they sit down next to each other. So when like if you're walking down the hall, nobody like cares. But if you sit like if you don't have a mask on and you sit down next to some kids who have a mask on, they'll say like, "Move away, like get away, or put a mask on," and they'll go, "Oh, okay," and so they just put a mask on because they're middle school kids. They want to be around their friends. They don't care. So like peer pressure is having an effect on it.
How about this? I'm curious. I want to do the social experiment. So you said that when are they talking about changing the mandate?
To when in elementary school?
Yeah.
It's already done. Like it has started today.
Okay, so they just dropped it. So you don't have to wear masks now?
Yeah, in elementary school they do not have to wear masks. In my middle school they dropped it 2 weeks ago. And
most people are still wearing masks.
Yeah, there's maybe 2 or 3 kids out of 900 that are consistently not wearing it at all.
So let's say this. I'm curious. So let's give it slightly more than a month, and let's say April 1st or the week of April. So we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks from today, which will put it at March 30th. I bet that less than half the kids are wearing masks on March 30th. I'll bet you episodes. Less than half.
I don't know if I want to take that bet because let's see, March.
I think it's very telling of the area in which you teach. I know at Grain Valley, they do everything they can to get their masks off, and it's very spiteful and very angry. Like it's anything like they're
pulling teeth to get them off.
Oh, absolutely, and it's just.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like a COVID denier or anything. I'm not saying COVID isn't real, but like I just have a feeling that as soon as they get a scent of it's okay to not wear masks, the masks are going to be gone, and nobody's going to want to wear them.
I will say this. I do think the reason why I don't want to take the bet is because I agree with you. I think human nature is as soon as like
it's gonna go Lord of the Flies real shit.
It's
real fast.
Well, it's a critical mass thing, right? Like as soon as but also they're children, right? So like when a certain amount of them have fidget spinners, and they all have fidget spinners. Like when a certain amount of them have,
once you get to like 5 in the classroom, next week everyone has them.
Right. So like earlier this year, it was skateboards, those little tiny skateboards. You remember the fingerboards?
Yeah, I remember those.
They came back really big, like in first semester this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no reason, just happened. And that's what it is. It's all about like critical mass of popularity. So I think when I don't know when it will happen, but it will happen eventually that a certain amount of kids won't wear a mask. Right now, it's the opposite. Right now, it's like peer pressure is working in the opposite direction because there's just a large number.
Everyone's keeping it on.
Yeah, a large number of vocal kids are like saying, "Don't come near me if you don't have a mask on," and so kids are keeping them on for the most part. But what I think will probably happen, and this is actually another thing, is no teacher has taken them off. I think that's another bit, which is. Kids don't
lead by example.
Yeah, middle school kids have a hard time just completely abandoning what the adult is doing in that situation because they trust us still for the most part. I think elementary school kids just desperately want to take it off because they don't want something on their face, right? They don't care. High school kids want to purposely like fuck the teacher, right? But down with the man. But middle school kids are in that weird spot in the middle where they are always looking to us as role models, like really intently.
All right. Well, I was just curious because you seemed pretty confident that the majority was going to keep wearing masks. So I want to see if I can get you to wager.
I would. What you see? The problem is March 30th is after spring break. I wonder if spring break will like be the turning point. They'll come back from spring break having not worn it for a while and not want to put it back on, and there'll be a certain number of students like that. I don't know. I can tell you
Well,
right.
just don't bet so many episodes then. You can pick the number of episodes. Doesn't have to be 1,000 or anything.
This is such a sad bet.
You should double or nothing.
It's such a sad bet.
Double or
You're like
nothing.
betting on humanity.
Yeah, I'm betting on like the worst impulses. I'm betting on altruism, right?
Yeah, you're betting on altruism. I'm betting on like apathy and like I don't know, not greed, but like personal wants.
Also, like fatigue. Like it is.
Mhm.
Everybody wants the pandemic to just be over and for things to go back to what it was like before.
Yeah. So if you don't want to bet, that's fine. But I thought it would be fun.
Okay, so the bet would be 4 Mondays from now? Is that right?
If I said 5, which is
Sorry.
March 30th. Yeah.
5. Okay, so 5. Will half of my students still be wearing masks?
I expect counts.
Yeah, I mean,
I want you.
the only one-
I mean, if it's obvious.
the only
but-
one I could do is like the 140 students that I see every day. I wouldn't be able to
Exactly.
actively
No,
do this.
your classrooms.
Okay,
And so, because I assume you're going to be wearing a mask the whole time, so
Yeah.
you'll be leading by example.
right. And the main reason I'm wearing a mask is I just don't want to get COVID and like shut down my shit for
Yeah.
a weekend. I want to be able to go play games and stuff. And
Mm-hmm. All right, so make your decision. We got to get past this.
Yep, let's do 50 episodes for 50%. Let's do it. One episode per percentage. Let's do that. Seems nice.
50% wear masks for Parker.
Still,
Are you going to be asking your kids, please wear masks?
absolutely,
you just gonna let 'em
absolutely
see-
not.
Oh, okay.
Giving good grades.
Are you allowed to, or are
Oh,
you going to lose your job?
No, yeah, that is a fucking landmine.
Yeah.
Once they said you can't tell them wear a mask anymore, I say absolutely fucking nothing about it.
Yeah.
The only
All right, so I got 50 episode wager that 50% of Parker students will not wear masks on March 30th.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, Jeremy, I would very much like to go to Adepticon if there's no mask mandate. And much like you, I just don't want to wear a mask for the entire fucking weekend because it's going to be hot and hard to hear anything.
Yes.
But I will say that the MCP room in the past has been fairly quiet in comparison to like the 40K room. But who knows what the numbers will be this year, because I remember the first year we went for Monster Apocalypse, I want to say there was like 26 or 30 people. And I think this is going to have a lot more traction. It's just going to be if COVID shuts it down or not.
Yep.
So yeah, there could be like, I don't know. I'm guessing there's going to be around 50 or 60 people there for MCP.
I think it'll be more than that. I think LVO showed that there's a huge bunch of people.
How many was it for LVO? I thought it was only like 60.
It was 60, and remember, it sold out immediately. So there was an entire pile of people that didn't get to go.
It might be like 100. Well, they didn't have mask mandates, though. I think mask mandates is going to... It is in the Midwest, so I think the mask mandates are going to slow down the population. So if they clear them earlier than like the event happening, then I think it will be 100. But yeah, I'm in. Like just tell me when. I'm in if there's no masks.
All right, I'll keep updating on that.
Yeah,
We'll
I know
look at
Aaron's
it.
going regardless, so we have a carpool already. If as long as you don't mind riding with Aaron. By the way, he listens, so I wouldn't badmouth him right now. No, but yeah, that I'm super in. If there's no masks, if there are masks, I'd have to think about it.
I'm not going if there's masks. That's just you guys have fun.
I figured I might go with Aaron anyway, but we'll see.
I just can't hear.
It might
anymore.
also be
I
like
can't
the
hear. I can't.
Oh no,
No,
because
I
it's
just-
Adepticon. There's
it's
going to be a
hard.
painting requirement.
No
I'm going to have
fun.
to paint my shit. Did you hear me? Jeremy, one of us is hitting a huge lag spike. 1 second, let me try and fix my internet. Hey guys.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry, my internet crapped out for a second. I was wondering why Jeremy was talking over me and then everything stopped. So what did you say? You said something right when I was cutting out there?
Oh, I don't think I said anything relevant. I think I just said,
Okay.
yeah, the mask thing would keep me from going. I'm just not going to do it.
Okay. But I was gonna say that it's Adepticon, so it's gonna be painting requirements, and so my thing was gonna be, well, they'll probably have mask mandates, but then who knows if people are gonna follow them? A lot of, like, the painting rules. A lot of people don't really follow the painting rules, and just nobody calls them on it. But then I remembered that it's Adepticon, so it's painting required, so I'm gonna have to get something painted. So I have stuff painted. I just don't know that I want to play that stuff. But I want to paint Juggernaut already, so that won't be a big deal. Actually, I kind of want to paint all the Brotherhood stuff. I'm pretty happy with all those models.
Yeah, the more I look at Juggernaut, the more I don't actually like that model.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like his pose. Like, to see the model, like, I'd rather him be more upright than he is. It just seems kind of awkward, and it's long and weird. Like, I just don't dig it that much.
The only thing I like is that it's so obviously posed that all of them are going to be the same. And that's the only thing I don't like about it. It's very identical across the board, and because he's such a like unique pose that it stands out that they all look the same.
True.
Parker, what'd you say?
Who is they all look the same? Who's they?
Juggernaut.
What do you say?
The Juggernaut model.
What is they? You said they all look the same.
All the Juggernauts is they. They all look the same because they're all in the exact same pose.
And it's big.
Weird.
It's like the Hulk. I mean, you'll see a bunch of Hulks and they all look the same.
Yeah, but they're at least kind of generically standing, and so it's not obvious. But imagine everyone was doing a handstand, and you're like, oh, they all look the same. Yeah,
I see your point.
Like Black Cat, like everyone's Black Cat looks stupid because she's in a dumb pose.
Yeah.
Same with X-23. They get a little, like, Sabretooth is fine because he's just jumping, but like it's not like a super identifying pose. I like Juggernaut's model a lot, but it is going to get very samey.
I mean, most people like it. I haven't heard anybody complain it. But when I built it and got it done, I was a little disappointed for my $50 for that fucking model that it just looks like that. Because I mean, when you look at it,
it's beefy enough that you could modify it, and you could do it pretty.
I feel like the way it's leaning and everything, and on the tabletop, you don't even get to look at it. You just look at his back, like he's like laying on the ground almost. Like I just don't.
But you look at the back instead of the front. That doesn't really change anything. You spend all your time on the back. Anyway,
my thing is, I like the model a lot more whenever I put the
pole.
The pole in his hand. For some reason, I felt like it was very imbalanced model, like in terms of like how much space it took up without the pole. And I looked at the option of magnetizing it like you did, Brandon. And after I'm really glad I got to see your model, because my first thing I thought was, man, I do not like this with his hand on it. And so then I when I built my own, I was like, oh, yep, this is definitely not going to happen.
I magnetized it for two reasons. First off, because I like magnetizing things. Secondly, because painting and or modifying the pole is going to be much easier if I can just pull the hand off his arm.
Is your video screwed up, Brandon, or is that me?
I think it's you. Mine was really screwed up, but I reconnected my internet. Now it's fine.
Can you see him, Parker?
Yeah, I can see him just fine.
All right, let me restart.
Yeah, it's you now.
Oh, you're frozen. Oh.
Yeah, Jeremy's also having internet issues. Parker, did you watch that video I sent? I think I sent it to you. The one about the it's like VR for PC players.
Oh my gosh, that was wonderful.
Yeah. It was for people that play like driving games, and they basically set up a hydraulic on an air cannon behind the chair. So like if you're doing like Need for Speed with a steering wheel at your computer, and you hit something, it fires the piston and kicks you through your monitor.
I love it.
And then there's the realistic flashbang where it turns on like a 9,000 lumen strobe light in front of your computer.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It was wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything about that. Also the
guy's like,
realistic,
Jesus Christ!
I can't see. The realistic recoil was when he fired the gun, the computer screen just like starts shaking.
Yeah, the mob is literally just like rattling off the table when he's trying to shoot people in Call of Duty. Like, fuck this game. This game is so dumb.
Yeah.
Realistic horse riding, and he's got like this piston under the chair. He's trying to hold the monitor and like ride the horse, and fucking the whole thing falls over.
Yeah, I really liked the realistic horse riding with the whole thing.
That was good.
Pneumatic, four pneumatic.
Yeah, the desk. It's like in a school desk, so it's like connected to the chair, and it's just like hopping the whole thing like 3 inches at a time. Yeah. They took a video from outside the guy's apartment when the flashbang thing goes off, and it lights up like the whole fucking block. It's like, Jesus.
That's good.
Yeah. It's like, my poor retinas. Yeah.
When is Adepticon?
I can tell you in just a second.
I'll just look at it. I'm not fucking...
Adeptocon is on March 23rd.
Oh, that's soon.
So very soon. It's like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
I cannot go. I'll be in Arizona.
You're going the wrong direction.
Yeah, I know.
We need a Home Alone type situation to happen so you go in the correct direction.
Every once in a while, Parker's family forgets him, and then he gets to go on an adventure.
No, he just gets on the wrong plane. He just
Oh.
points to a guy in a brown coat and says, "I'm with him," and they let him on the plane.
Oh no, never mind. That's the week before. Sorry,
Ooh.
the Adepticon is the week after my other trip. But
Can confirm Parker will be at Adepticon.
no.
Everyone who's wondering, Parker will be at Adepticon. He is.
All of our listeners in Guernsey are going to be there waiting for you, Parker.
Oh man,
say-
I can't disappoint Guernsey. Don't pull the Guernsey card on me.
I will pull the Guernsey card at any time to get you to Chicago.
I'm super excited about Guernsey.
Mm-hmm.
What do we
We have entire twos of fans in Guernsey. You know, you got to understand, it's a very important country.
Tens of
Actually, speaking
twos.
of, because we called them out so much, let's check and see if we have more Guernsey listeners now.
I don't need more. We have
Don't need more. We got enough.
We
already.
have exactly the number we should have.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many how many plays we had last time? It seems much less than what we have now. We might be going virus. I think it's called.
We're going virus.
Going virus.
Going
I got the
virus.
bug. We have 6,100 total listens now. Although our episodes are trending down. I guess they're not trending down. This is just a really weird graph.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of Marvel Crisis Protocol events.
In Guernsey?
No.
Oh.
In Guernsey.
I'm not the one who said it.
I'm just looking at a list of them. Well,
All right, so
it's
the
kinda hard
week
to
from
find out.
February 2nd to February 8th, we had 311 plays. I think we talked about that last time. Didn't we mention that one?
I think so. We talked about the good one.
Yeah. I think we talked I think that was long enough ago that we had already talked about that.
Then we decided what was going on,
Uh-oh.
what could have possibly happened. We were like, wait a second, we actually talked about Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yeah. Guernsey is currently ranked above Mexico on our demographic list. That seems unlikely. Like if I gave you those two countries to pick from and said pick which one of the North American based podcasts is more popular in which country, you'd be like probably not Guernsey.
guess what? There
Guernsey.
are 3 tickets left for the MCP Adepticon Contest of Champions.
Oh my god, Jeremy, sign us up.
I'm not signing anything.
I'm not signing anything.
There's only 3 tickets.
Look, we've gone to Adepticon enough times. You know how that shit works. They sit there and they get drunk. Half the people don't show, and the tournament
A
ends
lot
up-
of people don't
yeah.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I ain't worried about any of those numbers.
You say that till we show up and MCP outsells 40K.
I will bet any amount of episodes that is not true.
I will bet you 500 of Parker's episodes.
Whoa.
Double or nothing on that. Double or nothing.
Yeah, I'll give you 10-1 odds. 5,000 episodes down to 2.
Each Parker episode is worth 2 regular episodes.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Shroot Bucks.
1/100th of 1 cent.
I don't know. What's the going rate for unicorns?
Same as unicorn tears to leprechaun turds.
Man, a con sounds fucking amazing. Chicago deep dish pizza sounds
I was going to say,
amazing.
the pizza sounds amazing. I'm not even concerned about the
We're
game.
going to take so many pictures of us eating Lou Malnati's pizza and send it to you that you're going to just fly there out of frustration. Just tell her you're going to get pizza with the guys. It's not your fault she misinterpreted what you meant by being a 4-day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Jeremy? You've been divorced. You know how it goes.
I do. And it never hurts to just push. Just push.
Just never hurts to just put your
Just
foot
push
down,
forward.
right? Yeah.
Because when you're divorced, you're like, man, I wish I would have done that at that point because now it doesn't matter anyway.
If you assume that you're going to get divorced at some point anyway, you basically might as well do it. Right?
None of this is good advice.
Jeremy's like, please don't do this.
It's all so bad.
Parker's staring at something. I think it's plane tickets.
No, I'm looking at the policies.
Oh, okay. The COVID policies?
Uh-huh. Right now, according to the Cook County mandates, they're decided they're going off of that, and Cook County is asking for.
I know a lot about Cook County. I mean, everything I know about it is from the Dresden Files novels, but
I know.
I know a lot.
Any individual age 2 or older and able to medically tolerate a mask shall be required to wear a mask when indoors in a public place, regardless of vaccination status. Yeah.
If we're getting close to the time frame, I might message Hank, one of the guys who runs Adepticon, and ask him what they think is going to happen.
Basically, the Cook County Health Board would have to change their policy.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's going to be Adepticon.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. But I think Jeremy was saying that people thought that it was going to change soon, or at least his buddy was saying that.
That's the rumor.
Yeah, I mean, hell, who knows how recently that page has been updated? So maybe the Cook County thing has been updated already.
Yeah, it's this page was updated back in January, which is the last time that Cook County updated their stuff. Which was, of course, when the big surge in the Midwest was happening.
Yeah.
But I'll just see if there's anything else. Nope, that was the last thing. So if they do change it, it'll be because Cook County changes their recommendation.
Well, again, it'll be a matter of just grabbing tickets and going. It's not like it matters that much.
Yeah, we don't need plane tickets or anything. That's a big bonus if we want to go.
Yeah, we could just drive. I believe, obviously, that's Aaron's plan anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We should at least look at the scheduling, because if there's only MCP events on 2 days, like, masking for 2 days wouldn't be as big of a deal as opposed to like 4.
It looks like like I said, there's a bunch of events going on.
Okay.
But the main event is, I think, look what day it is. They're doing a 2-day event, and it's really just the champions thing is going to be 1 day, and then finals the next day. They're not doing 2 days of championships.
Mm-hmm. You said Contest of Champions, that's like just the standard event.
That's like the big one, right? I think it's on Saturday. But it looks like Thursday and Friday there are like fun events, like goofy stuff like partners, and like one of the events called What If, which I'm not exactly sure what it is, but
What if Shuri wasn't in the game? It's my rock, I'm gonna die on it, don't shake your head.
Sunday they're doing the finals and a game mode where you have to play only like pure affiliation and free agents. You can't splash in other characters.
Ooh, I'm already ready for that.
I was gonna say there's some affiliations that seem stronger.
There's affiliations that don't have 10 people, so you just play down characters.
Yeah, that's what it said. Yeah, like Asgard.
Well, I guess there's 2 rogue agents, so I doubt there's many with less than 8. Oh,
Asgard.
Dormammu, just Dormammu.
Yeah.
Dormammu.
Dormammu.
What about Asgard? Doesn't have 8.
They have a lot though.
No, they don't.
1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't it 6?
Yeah, that's.
So, but that's 8 characters once you take the 2.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's not ideal, but no one's playing Asgard anyway. Hey Parker, if you're walking around in the dark and you trip over a bra, is that a booby trap?
Nope.
If there are no boobies in it, I don't think it is.
Not if there's no boobies. Okay.
I once ran through a dark room and tripped over a black stool onto a space heater, and I jammed.
Was it on? Did you remember a fire?
No, it was off. But the space heater hit me like the top rib. Those sharp metal ribs hit me right in between my chin and my mouth.
Yeah.
Splits that skin open.
Yeah.
And you can't see it now because I've had a beard forever, but there's a scar there. And I'll never forget, like, my thought after it happened, because I was, like, 11 or something like that. And I remember thinking afterwards, like, sitting there in the dark, feeling my shin hit that dark black stool, going like, wow, that was stupid. Like, just thinking like,
why was I running through a dark room?
Yeah, why was I running through a pitch black room with giant black stools about? Like that was so stupid.
Yeah.
We were playing
And you
hide and
do
seek
dumb shit.
at night, and I don't know, it's about 15 or so, and there's probably 10 of us, and running full speed, I hit a clothesline in my mouth.
Oh.
My legs went up. It was
Yeah.
like a fucking cartoon character.
Just like fucking above your head.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. And I just remember thinking, well, I'm going to die. Like,
It's gonna rip the top of my head clean off my body.
it was so fucked up, because then when I landed and I was just like, is my mouth still on? Like, do I need to go to the hospital? I survived it, and I never did that again. It was awful.
Yeah.
When I was in God, what was it? I want to say like 7th grade. The summer before, I had lost my 2 front teeth, and so, but they took forever to come in. Like, I had like 8 months where I didn't have front teeth. It was super annoying when I was a kid. And finally, my new adult teeth come in, and we're playing tag around the classroom at school. And I take a corner to chase this kid, and I catch my foot on someone's backpack and just lay out, and I catch my 2 front teeth on one of the chairs in front of me.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
And it shattered. That's why my teeth are uneven. It shattered the like 1/4 inch off of both of them.
Wow.
And that one of them broke off pretty cleanly. The other one just shattered into powder. And yeah, it hurt like a son of a bitch.
Wow.
Mm.
I did not know that.
That's why my front teeth are fucked up. Yeah, it sucked more than you imagine, because like your teeth do have nerves in them, so the impact and everything hurt. But the problem was, because it sheared off enough of them to expose the nerve, I basically couldn't eat or drink anything for like 2 weeks because they were so sensitive. It was just a raw nerve in the front of my mouth. Yeah, I couldn't bite down on anything. And eventually the nerves just died off. But yeah, so that was fun. Yeah, I never played tag in the classroom again.
Yeah, I don't know how people make it through to adulthood. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm terrified.
Humans are surprisingly resilient.
I'm terrified for my
creatures.
boys. Yeah, like
you see people fall out of trees from like 40 feet up and hit every branch on the way down and just stand up, and you're like, you should be a bag of broken glass.
Yeah.
Like, how are you alive? Like,
there's go ahead.
Well, I was at one of the conventions, and we were just hanging out and talking about kids and stuff, and one of the older guys, he was talking about, well, when you have boys, you really only have one goal. It's like, convince them not to jump off your roof.
yeah, pretty much.
Keep them.
Yep.
Your job is to keep them alive, because they're going to try and do dumb shit all the time. And with boys, you just have to convince them not to jump off shit that's way too tall for them. And I was just like,
they
no
get
way.
up there with an umbrella and they're like, we're gonna jump off, Dad. And you're like, no. And then they jump off and like get hurt. And then you see them up there like a week later with like, they've got this like sheet with like wooden sticks under it, trying to make it into a kite to jump off the roof. You're like,
yep.
We thought we learned last time, don't jump off buildings. You're like, nope, we did it.
Yep, and it's very, very true.
You've seen The Boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just throw your kid off a roof. You gotta show them.
It reminds me of that meme. I can't remember where it started. It was like a text change somewhere that turned into a meme where it started with, why is it that in role playing games and like sci-fi games, the human being is always like the generic, kind of vanilla character, and all the aliens or the elves, the dwarves, all have like the interesting features. It's just, I feel like we're selling humans too short. Like, if aliens actually did encounter humans, there'd be some things about humans that would probably be absolutely terrifying, just like their basic physical characteristics. And so the meme quickly became a list of all the things that aliens would be really scared shitless of that humans could do. One of them was their teeth are strong enough to eat other teeth. One of them was they warning, dismembering a human does not stop its vital functions. In fact, it can make them angrier. They can last for minutes with like fully appendages missing, and they can continue to fight. Another one was human beings breathe oxygen, the most corrosive substance in the known universe. We do not attempt to poison them with oxygen; they will just breathe it. One of them.
I imagine the human race is actually going to end up as a slave race to another species at some point.
Because they're so fucking
takes us
hardy.
over. And they're going to come to Earth to steal humans to use us as like oxygen destroying devices.
Yeah.
And they're gonna use us like we use trees. Yeah. And we're just like, we need humans here to get rid of all this damn oxygen.
Another one was human beings. Blunt force trauma does not incapacitate a human being. In point of fact, they built whole competitions around it. See boxing, see football. Like they're talking about, just talk about like you can't stop a person. My favorite one is their teeth and jaws are strong enough to eat other teeth.
That's
really
so weird.
That is really weird.
Just for the off chance you have a box of watches and teeth sitting around.
Yeah. Oh, another one was rendering one sense does not stop their abilities to like understand the environment.
Yeah.
They have multiple senses. You must stop them all.
Yeah. In fact, when you stop one of their senses, the others become heightened.
Yeah. They could accommodate that really well.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys ever watch those really old, like, taken down commercials that were not appropriate?
It's been a while. I've seen some of them.
Oh, yeah.
What I saw today was, it was basically a British commercial about how some people get too excited about football. And so it's like, hey, sometimes it's okay to just not have football on the mind all the time. And then the commercial starts, and there's this guy, bowls a perfect game, goes out to his car with his bowling bag, lifts it to put in his trunk, and the ball like rips out of the side of the old bag and hits the concrete and starts rolling down the hill, and the guy runs after it. He gets like halfway down the hill, and the ball's really moving. And the guy, and some other guy that's helping a guy load his car, looks up the hill and sees this guy chasing the ball, and he goes, "Oh, I got it." The ball hits a pothole and pops up in the air, and the guy goes, "Oh," and like runs under it and jumps up to ricochet it back to him. And then it cuts to a funeral.
Oh my god.
It was pretty good. So I was like, yeah, don't be a footballer.
It goes to headbutt it.
He goes to headbutt the ball back to him. It just like fucking domes him and just like cuts to him dead.
That's good.
Step 1, identify the ball.
Yeah.
Step 2.
Oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get started. We've wasted enough time.
Yeah, that's good. I feel warmed up though. I mean, I'm running on
Good
auxiliary power.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a good title. It's kind of a weird episode. We mostly just did news and secure talk. But I couldn't come up with a good pun for like securing things.
I was gonna say the gang gets incinerated. That's what I was gonna be.
That would have been better. Why didn't you say that?
Oh, I thought
I'm gonna make you guys get drunk and then try and remember that you have to come up with an episode title in the last 12 seconds.
Well,
and then come up with one in 12 seconds.
Usually, my ideas are hate spammed out because I have really bad ones.
You do have really bad ideas.
I am not. I am not.
Should I read through some of your podcast name suggestions?
No,
we
don't have time. I am so tired. Oh,
I'm also tired.
Here we go. What is the opposite of Disney? ? That was a good one.
Yeah, don't. It's a memory I just wrote. I don't want to go down.
Oh god.
All right. Cool.
All right, we don't want to be held hostage anymore. Can
All
we
right.
go?
I got one more for you.
Oh fuck.
Parker wasn't very excited at my booby trap joke, so I got one more for him.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Parker, what is the difference between a piano and a tuna fish?
I don't know, what is it?
You could tune a piano.
You can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna. Got him.
You got me before. You got me before you even said it.
I said tuna fish. He's like, I'm done. Where's the exit button? I want to stop. I like that one. I would just like to point out that I actually got a real life in person like laugh out loud from when I told the necromancer joke. That made me feel good. People
joke.
like my jokes.
It's a good joke.
Oh, good lord.
It's a good joke. It's a good joke.
Good joke. That one there. That's a keeper.
That's a keeper.
Keep that one in the hopper ready.
All right, I think we're good.